Yeah, because on your main YouTube channel, it still says you got 15 minutes till it goes live. So where are you live right now? Twitch?
So we're live on, right now we're live on YouTube. We were live on Twitch and X. So we just went live on YouTube. So I apologize to the people that were in
Got
my
it.
YouTube chat. So you missed about 2 minutes. You didn't miss anything. 1 second. And of course, there's, okay, sorry about that. So this is, we're going to have a million different technical difficulties here for everybody. So yeah, everybody, thank you so much for joining us. I can see everybody here in YouTube and other chats. So we started a little bit early because we're testing a brand new system, a way of streaming. So we're going live across X, YouTube, and Twitch TV, and we're using a brand new streaming software that's going to allow us to have guests. It's not brand new; we used it a lot for other stuff, but this is the first time we're using it for actually live streaming. So, on the biggest day of the year, GPT-5 holiday to all those that celebrate, and we decided to completely rebuild our tech stack from the ground up. So, no chance anything's going
That's
to
how
go
it
wrong
works.
here. Zero chance of that.
How could it? How could it?
Let's see. People are saying volume. People love trolling me about the volume. So, let me double check that. Okay. Let me test that out. Dylan, please do
Did
me
you
a
do a mic
favor.
check? How are we sounding?
Well, I just want to make sure everything's coming through on all three of the platforms. So just give me 1 second.
Okay.
Feel free to do some stand-up comedy or improv or whatever. Whatever.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Entertain the people.
So,
I'm just kidding. Give me 1 second.
okay, I'll tell them about what do I think? So my theory on how good it's going to be at coding is that it will probably be significantly better than the newest model that came out from Claude a couple days ago. So I know they have the record right now for the coding, but it feels like that's going to be a very short-lived moment. Um, I don't know. I'm filming my videos on Dylan Curious right now. I literally open up a Google Doc, I make it public. I take that link, I put it into Chat GPT, and it can see some of my last videos. And I say, I'm interested in news. Like, can you go find similar articles? Like, I care a lot about psychology, about society. And I also want to find some like things that are kind of going viral. And it goes and I watch it just like as if I was working with a real human on the other side, just replacing the links. And to me, that workflow, including the deep research, is so powerful. So I'm hoping to see something maybe a little like that, but even bigger. But I don't know. There's a small chance he says AGI too, but I doubt it. And like, because there's a big Microsoft battle going on where he like the definition of AGI matters, and they were fighting over that for the last couple of months because then Microsoft loses access to the models. So he might, like, maybe, probably not, but he might need to like legally say like we've achieved AGI so that he can get out of the Microsoft deal. So like there could be a moment like that coming up too. I don't know. We'll have to see. So I don't have any better like stand-up comedy for you, but I wonder. Let me see if I can see the chat too.
All right. So yeah, you're able to see the entire chat or just any
Not
of that.
through Riverside, but let me go. I'll just just watch it on your YouTube page. But yeah, I gave him my theory on if I think he's going to say the words AGI or not. You feel like there's a
Oh,
5% chance of that? Just mostly legally to get out of the Microsoft deal? Probably not.
right.
We should take like an over under on if he uses the word AGI during the presentation.
Mm-hmm. All right. Yeah. So, yeah, everybody, thank you so much for joining us. So, like, bear with us. We got 10 minutes till the thing starts. So, Lanos, Zachary, Flint T, Winsome Hacks, everybody, welcome. Chicken Can, Doug, let's see, Chelsea, Werewolf, everybody, thank you so much for being here. Wow. Okay, chat is really popping off. Popping off. We got some tons of people in here. So we are gonna be going live in a second. So I'm just kind of testing everything out, making sure everything's looking good.
Did anyone see the picture Sama sent with the Death Star? No, what's that? Let me check that out. Oh,
Jason's Hub, welcome, welcome. Where's everybody from? Please post in chat. Where are y'all from? And also, what do you think about the word y'all? I think sometimes it's so useful to shorten what you're trying to say.
y'all.
Y'all. It's not commonly used, but it's in the right sort of
Dude,
what?
yeah, we'll
Yeah,
need it. I feel like, you know what? That's actually kind of interesting point is I bet we have so many new words for the next generation that like it blows past any other generation. I think AI is going to come up with so many shorthand ways to talk and people will start picking up from that,
yeah.
like more efficient.
How do I? So I think that it just says welcome to our live show on several of the platforms. So let me see if I can change that. Um, live. I fully expect everything to break down. Let's see, and we got to also keep an eye on, you know, the live stream. So because they
Yeah.
have a
Yeah, we'll
countdown
watch
there.
that. And where do you read the comments from? Is that inside of Riverside or do you just have a web page open for all
No, for
other
some
different
reason,
platforms?
okay, so we got a viewer on Twitch.
Yeah.
Livestock. So I think we have we have a few people on Twitch, a few hundred on X, and then 1,000 plus on YouTube. So I'm mainly looking at YouTube. Music you can feel. Thank you so much for the super chat. My guess is AGI is 2627 from New Mexico. Very cool. New Mexico has really surprisingly great freeways and stuff like that. Like when I drove through there,
Oh,
I spent a few days there. It's like kind of beautiful. Um,
great freeways is something I do not have.
oh, in Vegas, Vegas is
Yeah.
not that bad,
Yeah, it's
right?
all right. We got one freeway everybody uses. It's too crowded. Is what it
Yeah.
is.
All right. So let me share my screen because I want to make sure that we're sort of just checking the audio levels. So can you hear everything okay? And I'll turn it up all the way when when it goes live.
I don't hear anything, but let's see what the item like that might be different from what the other people hear. No, it looks like they can hear it.
All right. So everybody's good. All right. Yeah. Sorry, everybody. We're testing a new tech stack for streaming. So you're going to be seeing me looking around confusedly as I try to. I should take a picture of my setup. I have 3 giant monitors, so it's like a wall of monitors. I almost have to like rotate my chair to look around. So, but yeah, looks like we have this thing coming in. We got about 7 minutes. No OpenAI video audio on your stream.
Oh yeah, ask about that. The audio from the video I'm not hearing either.
Okay, you guys are not hearing the audio.
Yeah, they're
Okay,
just
thank
hearing
you
us.
for letting me know. How about now?
Okay. Now I'm hearing it.
All right, thanks to Keck and Lochstock from Twitter, from Twitch. All right, so that's going to get updated in a second. Dylan, do you have a phone or anything that you can check, that you can maybe mute yourself and just see if everything's coming through like it's supposed to?
Yep.
Farzad in the chat. Thank you so much for the super chat. Great to have you here. Wes is great. So is Farzad. Great to have you here, good sir. You posted something yesterday I haven't had a chance to see about. So I guess Elon is really doing some XAI. He's applying it to advertising with X. So really looking forward to actually really looking forward to checking that out, because I actually missed that live stream on X, so I definitely need to catch up on that. But yeah, first off, welcome to the chat. Thank you so much. I think I missed somebody saying my mic is low. Is that
Okay.
the case?
I was hearing you okay,
Test,
and
test,
I was
test.
hearing the. It might just be because this background music's kind of loud from the video, but.
Yep. Testing. Yeah. So so the live stream is gonna start in 4 minutes. So if I'm low, that's fine. I missed somebody's super chat. We'll get back to that in after this. So we're gonna watch the live stream, and then we'll do all of that. So everybody, but thank you so much everyone for being here. Bad audio from OpenAI stream. That's actually, I think that's how it is. If you're hearing weird rustling, that's actually how it is. That's what I'm hearing as well. All right, let's go.
The countdown started. Look, only 3 minutes left.
3 minutes left. Okay, I'm
My
gonna
God,
mute
I feel like a
myself and
rocket
make sure
launch or
everything's.
something's about to happen.
This is huge.
I mean, do you have to think about how many people were paying attention when GP? Like, do you remember where you were when 4 dropped? Because I heard about it later in the afternoon. I wasn't even like that excited about it, and I think about AI all the time back then. But now, like 100 million more people use ChatGPT in their daily lives. Like, they're going to be excited about 5. They're going to be around the water cooler tomorrow, being like, "Hey, did you hear about the update?"
Yeah, this is gonna get huge. Jason's Hub, yeah, sorry I missed your super chat. We'll talk right after this, after the OpenAI live stream. Yeah, everybody, welcome. And yeah, Dylan, this is gonna be insane. I feel like the world is watching basically, so this is gonna get kind of crazy. Let me mute myself, and let's I'll do my final pre-launch checklist, and we'll chat after the OpenAI's live stream.
Yeah, early iPhone buzz about this. I hear you, John. That's what I'm feeling too. This is like the new Apple keynotes. Dude, bring on the singularity. Be careful what you ask for. You know, it's gonna be a lot of change for humans to handle. We do linear change, not exponential. I mean, it could be great. It could be, you know, I'm not ruling it out, but there's a lot coming. I wonder if you'll have to have the $200 package to even use it right away. I hope right after the thing it goes live. Hope it's not one of those like coming next week.
Good morning. 32 months ago, we launched ChatGPT. And since then, 1 million people tried it out. And we thought that was pretty incredible. But now, about 700 million people use ChatGPT every week and increasingly rely on it to work, to learn, for advice, to create, and much more. Today, finally, we're launching GPT-5. GPT-5 is a major upgrade over GPT-4 and a significant step along our path to AGI. Now, today, we're going to show you some incredible demos. We'll talk about some performance metrics, but the important point is this. We think you will love using GPT-5 much more than any previous AI. It is useful, it is smart, it is fast, and it's intuitive. GPT-3 was sort of like talking to a high school student. There were flashes of brilliance, lots of annoyance, but people started to use it and get some value out of it. With GPT-4, maybe it was like talking to a college student, real intelligence, real utility. But with GPT-5, now it's like talking to an expert, a legitimate PhD level expert in anything, any area you need on demand that can help you with whatever your goals are. And we are very excited that you'll get to try this. But it's not only asking now. GPT-5 can also do stuff for you. It can write an entire computer program from scratch to help you with whatever you'd like. And we think this idea of software on demand is going to be one of the defining characteristics of the GPT-5 era. It can help you plan a party, send invitations, order supplies. It can help you understand your healthcare and make decisions on your journey. It can provide you information to learn about any topic you'd like, and much more. This is an incredible superpower on demand that would have been unimaginable at any previous time in history. You get access to an entire team of PhD-level experts in your pocket, helping you with whatever you want to do. And anyone, pretty soon, will be able to do more than anyone in history could. So today, we're going to talk about GPT-5. We'll show you some upgrades to ChatGPT, and we'll talk about the API. GPT-5 is great for a lot of things, but we think it's going to be an especially important moment for businesses and developers, and we're very excited to see what they're going to build with this new technology. So we can't wait for you all to start building with this. We hope you enjoy it as much as we enjoyed building it for you. And to start, I'm going to hand it over to my colleague, Mark, our Chief Research Officer, to tell you about GPT-5. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Mark, and I'm joined by Max, who leads the post-training team, and Rennie from our engineering team. Over the past few years, OpenAI has spearheaded the reasoning paradigm. These are models which pause to think before delivering more intelligent responses. Now, reasoning is at the heart of our AGI program, and it underlies the technology that we use to ship stuff like ChatGPT Agent and Deep Research. GPT-5 aims to bring this breakthrough to everyone. Until now, our users have had to pick between the fast responses of standard GPTs or the slow, more thoughtful responses from our reasoning models. But GPT-5, it eliminates this choice. It aims to think just the perfect amount to give you the perfect answer. Now, something like this takes a lot of hard work. We've had to do a lot of research to make GPT-5 the most powerful, the most smart, the fastest, the most reliable, and the most robust reasoning model that we've shipped to date. Today, we're going to show a series of demos in coding, in writing, in learning, and in health. But GPT-5 isn't limited to these domains. It's very useful in all cases where you require deep reasoning or expert-level knowledge, in things like math, in physics, even in things like law. And the exciting thing is, we're excited to make this available to everyone, even to our free tier. After we show our demos, we're going to be talking about how GPT-5 supercharges our ChatGPT app and our API. We believe that GPT-5 is the best coding model on the market today. To start, let's have Max talk a little bit about the benchmarks and how the models stack up.
Yeah, thanks, Mark. So as Mark said, we think GPT-5 is by far our smartest model ever. So let's start by talking through some evals. Now, evals aren't everything, and they don't tell you everything about a model, but they can highlight its intelligence. And GPT-5 performs exceptionally well on a range of academic evals across subjects. It outperforms both our previous models and other models on the market. So picking up first on the theme of coding, GPT-5 sets a new high on SWE-bench, which is an academic eval that tracks performance on real software engineering tasks. Now, this again is an eval, but we think it will reflect the model's performance in the real world. GPT-5 also performs very well on Aider Polyglot, which measures its ability to implement complex functionality in a variety of different programming languages. Now, beyond coding, GPT-5 performs exceptionally well at multimodal reasoning, setting a new high on MMMU, actually outperforming both our previous models and most human experts on this task. This is basically a visual reasoning domain where you are asked to, from an image, figure out what's going on. GPT-5 is also excellent at mathematical reasoning, as shown by its performance on AMY 2025. Now, this is an exam that American high school students take to qualify for the International Mathematical Olympiad, and GPT-5 performs exceptionally well, again, beating our previous models and other models that are out there. Now, moving beyond academic evals and more towards some real-world use cases, we put a lot of work into making GPT-5 the most reliable and accurate model in the world. Language models historically have been plagued by hallucinations, factual errors, that make it hard to rely on their outputs for actually important tasks. For GPT-5, we made improving factuality, especially on open-ended or complex questions, a priority. We also built a set of new evals to track this, and we're very happy to report that GPT-5 is by far our most reliable, most factual model ever. GPT-5 also performs exceptionally well on health-related questions. Now, health is a big part of how people get value from ChatGPT in the real world. We'll talk about this later on in the live stream. But again, we're very happy to report that GPT-5 is by far our most reliable model for health yet. So all of this together adds up to a model that is faster, more reliable, and more accurate for everyone who uses ChatGPT. So now Rennie will talk to you about how to actually use GPT-5.
Thanks, Max. The best part is that we're bringing this frontier intelligence to all users. GPT-5 is rolling out today for free plus pro and team users. And next week, we'll roll it out to enterprise and EDU. For the first time, our most advanced model will be available to the free tier. Free users will start with GPT-5, and when they hit their limit, they'll transition to GPT-5 Mini, a smaller but still highly capable model. It actually outperforms O3 on many dimensions. Plus users will still have significantly higher usage than free users, and our pro subscribers will get unlimited GPT-5, along with GPT-5 Pro, extended thinking for even more detailed and reliable responses when you just need that extra depth. Team, enterprise, and EDU customers can also use GPT-5 reliably as their default model for everyday work, with generous rate limits that enable entire organizations to use GPT-5. And all the tools you already know, search, file and image upload, data analysis with Python, Canvas, image generation, memory, custom instructions, they'll all just work on GPT-5.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Max. Thank you so much, Rennie. We've just seen a lot about how the model stacks up in terms of benchmarks, but there's nothing quite like seeing it live. We're going to see a couple of live demos now presented by Tina, by Elaine, and Jan. Thank you so much. Elaine, can you show us how smart the model is?
Sure, thanks so much, Mark. I'm Elaine. Reasoning ChatGPT's ability to think deeply through complex problems is now built into GPT-5. It will automatically think whenever needed, delivering a more comprehensive, accurate, and detailed answer to you. Just as Sam said, it's like having a team of PhDs in your pocket. So let's see that in action. Suppose your kid is in middle school physics and they want to learn about Bernoulli effect. They need your help with their homework, and you might be like, wait, I might need some help with that too. So you could ask GPT-5, give me a quick refresher on the Bernoulli effect and why airplanes are the shape they are. Since this is a pretty straightforward prompt, GPT-5 actually doesn't need extra time to think about it and answers right away. But it still gives me a high-quality answer and explains the concept clearly. So here it says, like, Bernoulli effect means like faster-moving fluid has lower pressure and slow-moving fluid has higher pressure. So to make this even more helpful, I'm going to ask GPT-5 to create a moving demo to illustrate this. So I could ask, explain this in detail and create a moving SVG in the canvas tool to show me. This is a pretty complex task because now GPT-5 actually needs to build the visual. Therefore, GPT-5 takes a moment to think through the answer so it can come back with something more comprehensive and accurate. What's really nice is that you don't need to remember to turn on thinking each time. GPT-5 will do it for you automatically whenever the task benefits from deeper reasoning. If you really want to make sure that GPT-5 uses thinking, you can either say something like, think hard about this in the prompt to guide the model, or if you're a paid user, you can choose the GPT-5 thinking model from the model picker. Now you can see that the model is actually writing the front-end code to build the demo I asked for. So Christina, have you ever done some front-end coding before?
Yeah, actually the last time I touched any front-end coding was about 3 years ago for the first demo of ChatGPT.
Wow, so it's the first ChatGPT. That's where it all begins. Tell us more about it.
It wasn't even called ChatGPT then. I think it was called Chat with GPT.
That's a really good name.
Always good at naming. But I'm not a front-end expert, and I really hadn't touched front-end in quite a while. So it took me quite a bit of time to get the React app up.
I see. That's a lot of work. So how long did it take you to build something like that?
Honestly, maybe embarrassing to admit, like a week.
Well, but your weeks of hard work actually paid off well. See how successful ChatGPT it is today after your first demo. So you know what? I'm also building a demo right now, but luckily I have GPT-5 with me right now. And let's see how long it will take this time.
Maybe you should call it 5 with GPT.
Yeah,
yeah, exactly. So you see that GPT-5 has already written like more than 200 lines of code already. And while the model is thinking, you can also tap here to expand the chain of thought to actually see what's going on under the hood. For example, the GPT-5 was thinking about, oh, the user wants a moving SVG visualization in Canvas. I actually need to create HTML code to do that. It also think about like what kind of front-end tool I need to use, for example, React and Tailwind. It also thinks about, oh, I need to ensure the physics are accurate. I need to check what the Bernoulli principle is. So Christina, since you're here from the first day of ChatGPT, can you tell us like what it was like at that time and what motivated ChatGPT?
Yeah, I think at the time we weren't really sure about like how people would actually use it and what use cases were important. We were even going back and forth about maybe we should be releasing something that's like more specific to a certain use case. It's really cool now here that we have all these. We have a much better understanding of how people actually want to work with chat, and we can actually optimize the model for those use cases, like coding.
Yeah, exactly. Do you still remember how it felt like when you first talked to ChatGPT, like the first version of the model?
Yes. I don't know if people remember when the first version of ChatGPT would always start, as an AI model, I can't do something, something. And it's so great to see how far we've come from that personality.
Yeah, it's much more human-like right now. Okay, so it's already done. So look like ChatGPT just finished like 300 or we're near 400 lines of code in 2 minutes. So let's see if the code can actually run. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Yeah. So with just a simple prompt, GPT-5 created this interactive and engaging demo that I can actually play with. So I can actually change the airspeed here to see how the lift and the pressure change accordingly. I can also tweak the angle of attack to see if my plane will actually fly or crash.
I hope not.
Yeah. So GPT-5 can just bring any hardcore concept to life in moments. Imagine you can use this for anything that you're interested in, whether it's math, physics, chemistry, or biology. GPT-5 just makes learning so much more approachable and enjoyable.
Thanks, Elaine. I've been a part of ChatGPT since day one, and it's really cool to see all the progress we made since then, especially with capabilities like writing. Writing is one of the most common use cases people have been using ChatGPT for, and we're excited to say with GPT-5, we've improved the writing quality significantly. It's a much more effective partner. It can help you elevate anything from drafts to emails and even stories. Let's see this in action. So with GPT-5, we'll actually be deprecating all of our previous models. I think they've done a pretty good job, so let's make sure we can give them a proper goodbye. So we're going to ask both 4.0 and GPT-5 to write a eulogy to our previous ChatGPT models. We want it to be heartfelt and heartwarming, but also hopeful. So let's ask GPT-5 for it. And as it's thinking, we're actually going to go ahead and read a preloaded, the 4.0 response. So 4.0 decides to start with, today, as we prepare to welcome GPT-5 into the world, we gather to bid a heartfelt farewell to the models that came before. It's a decent start. Now let's kind of skim through and find another line. Your words reached across the globe, building connections where there had been none. I personally don't really like this line because it's rather generic and really without the previous context, it just feels like it could be about anything and feels more like a templated response. Now let's go back to GPT-5 to see what it's given us. It starts with friends, colleagues, curious strangers who became regulars. Even with this just first line here, we can see that GPT-5 has a lot more rhythm and beat to its prose than 4.0 did. Now let's find some other lines here. I actually like this. These models help millions write first lines, last lines, bridge language gaps, pass tests, argue better, soften emails, and say things they couldn't quite say alone. I really like this line because it shows that it's not just a templated response and it's actually quite personal and it gets the nuance of the situation right. And I think that's the kind of stuff that GPT-5 does much better than 4.0 than before. It actually makes things a lot more genuine and emotionally resonant with people. With GPT-5, the responses feel less like AI and more like you're chatting with your high IQ and EQ friend.
Thanks, Christina. My name is Jan, and I'll be telling you about some of the progress that we made on coding. GPT-5 is clearly our best coding model yet. It will help everyone, even those who do not know how to write code, to bring their ideas to life.
It just helped me.
Indeed, and it will help me right now. So I will try to show you that. I will actually try to build something that I would find useful, which is building a web app for my partner to learn how to speak French so that she can better communicate with my family. So here I have a prompt. I will execute it. It asks exactly what I just said. Please build a web app for my partner to learn French. One thing to note is that GPT-5, just like many of our other models, has a lot of diversity in its answers. So what I like doing, especially when you do this type of vibe coding, is to take this message and ask it multiple times to GPT-5, and then you can decide which one you prefer. So I'm going to open a few tabs. Just going to paste there. Great. So while it's working on it, let's read through exactly the prompt I wrote. Create a beautiful and highly interactive web app for my partner, an English speaker, to learn French. And then I gave a little bit more details. Track her daily progress. Use a highly engaging theme. Oh, it's already working. I'm going to put it on the side for now. Use a highly engaging theme. Include a variety of activities like flashcards and quizzes that she can interact with. And then to make it even more fun for her, I actually asked GPT-5 to embed an educational game, which is based on the old Snake game. But I asked to add this French touch to it, which is to replace the snake with a mouse and the apples with cheese. And to make sure that it's educational, every time, I know it's complicated, please bear with me. Every time the mouse will eat a piece of cheese, I ask GPT-5 to voice over a new French word so that my partner can practice her pronunciation.
I can see how much you want her to learn.
Great. So GPT-5 is still working on it. It already wrote 240 lines of code, which honestly is much more than what I would have written in that time. And
yeah, front-end code's super hard. You miss a couple things and it just doesn't work.
Exactly. Yeah. But the good part is that you don't need to understand any of that right now. So we'll just let it through. Maybe we can check the other tabs. Oh,
wow.
So I can simply press run code. So I'll do that and cross my fingers. Whoa.
Oh, nice. I really
Voila. So we have a nice website. Name is Midnight in Paris.
Oh, I love
together.
That.
So romantic.
We also see a few tabs: flashcards, quiz, and mouse and cheese, exactly like I asked for. I will play that. So this says le chat, which says the cat. Sorry.
Le chat.
Oh, that's pretty good pronunciation.
What does that mean?
The cat.
Oh.
So I can reveal and check if GPT-5 is correct. It is. So if I press next, oh, and I don't know if you saw, I think it actually updated the progress bar, which is exactly what I had asked for. Mm-hmm. Let's check the quiz. Here is the word non, which is no. So if I press on it, bien joué, which means congrats, and it updated the progress bar again. And let's check the mouse and cheese tab. Okay, that seems like a mouse. Here's the cheese. I'm going to try to play it. I can't promise I'm going to be good at it. Okay, seems to be working.
La gare.
Oh.
Un café.
So, indeed, just when I eat the cheese,
le chat.
It gives me a new French word. It's actually super complicated, and I already lost. I'm sorry. But let's just check a few other tabs just to see what is the type of diversity that GPT-5 can give you. So I can run the code here. Oh, okay, that's not my favorite, but it seems it seems that I can maybe switch. Oh, look at that.
Oh, nice.
That's better.
I like this mouse game better.
Yeah, I don't know, that doesn't look like a cat, like a mouse, but let's check maybe the third one. Sometimes it's not great. The good thing with GPT-5 is that if you have something that you don't like, you can just ask it to change it, and it will do it for you. Let's check this one. Oh, that's nice. That's also something to note is that GPT-5 really likes purple, so you will see a lot of that.
It's fine. Purple is my favorite color.
Oh, great. You will love GPT-5 then. So as we just saw, in a few minutes, GPT-5 built a few demos for us and for my partner to learn French. GPT-5 really opens up a whole new world of vibe coding. And as we saw, there will be some small rough edges. But the good thing is that you can ask GPT-5 to fix them. GPT-5 really brings the power of beautiful and effective code to everyone. I can't wait to see what people will build with it. But until then, back to you, Mark.
Thank you so much, Tina. Thank you so much, Elaine. Thank you so much, Jan. We've come a long way from the days where only 5 to 10 lines of code were working. And now it's amazing that you can produce these kind of apps on demand. We've made ChatGPT-5 much smarter, much powerful, and much faster. But we've also worked on enhancing some of the existing features. Here to talk about some of these features are Rochen and Christina Kaplan. Rochen comes from our multimodal research team and is going to talk about a feature, namely voice.
Thank you, Mark. So we've been steadily improving voice over the past year to make it more useful for everyone. First, it sounds incredibly natural, just like you're talking to a real person. Second, we've added the video so that it sees what you see while chatting with you. Third, it also translates between languages consistently and smoothly across turns. But today, we're doing something very special. We're bringing our best voice experience to everyone. Free users can now chat for hours, while paid subscribers can have nearly unlimited access. And voice is also available in custom GPT. Plus, subscribers now can custom tailor the voice experience exactly to their need. It will follow your instruction closely. Let's try something fun.
Excited.
So I can ask the voice model to give me a comprehensive answer, a concise one, or even just a single word. Hey, chat, could you only answer to me in one word, please, from now on?
Absolutely.
Okay. Describe the plot of the book Pride and Prejudice.
Relationships.
Okay, that's true. Yeah. Give me a piece of wisdom.
Patience.
Patience. So that's the word of wisdom from our voice model. And I think our model is trying to say, thank you for your patience waiting for GPT-5. Now, let's move on to something more practical. Learning is a top use case for our voice model. People love to use it to dive deep into topics, get quiz before exams, or learn new languages. For me, I've been learning Korean recently, and I found that speaking it and understanding it incredibly challenging. But let's see how voice can help. To do that, I will enable this study and learn mode. It's a new mode feature we launched in ChatGPT that guides you step by step towards deeper understanding of a subject. Now we can enter voice. Hey, chat, I'm learning Korean. Could you help me practicing it? Let's say, let's pretend I'm ordering at a cafe. Now, what should I say in Korean?
Absolutely. I'd be happy to help you practice. So if you're at a cafe and you want to keep it simple, you could start with something like 안녕하세요. 아메리카노 한 잔 주세요, which means hello, I'd like one Americano, please. And of course, you can adjust it based on what you want to order. Let me know if you want to try out more phrases.
So when it comes to Korean, could you speak that part really slowly? Because I'm a beginner and I want to hear every word clearly.
물론이죠. 그럼 정말 천천히 말해볼게요. 안녕하세요. 아메리카노 한 잔 주세요. 이렇게 하나씩 또박또박 말해보면 도움이 될 거예요.
Now, let's level things up. Could you speak that part really, really fast? Faster than a Korean would do.
Sure, I'll speed it up as much as I can. So it would sound like this. 안녕하세요. 아메리카노 한 잔 주세요. Basically, just zipping right to it. Let me know if you need any more speed adjustments.
감사합니다, chat. So that is voice.
천만에요. 언제든지 도와드릴게요.
Thank
또
you.
연습하고.
So that is voice. Simpler, smarter, and more powerful than ever. We can't wait for you to experience it.
Yeah, it sounds so much more natural than the voice we demoed just a year ago in our 4.0 demo.
Yes.
Great. So today, we would also like to announce a new feature and a set of features that make ChatGPT more personalized so that it's more like your AI. First, a very simple and fun one. We're now allowing you to customize the colors of your chats with a couple of options exclusive to our paid subscribers. We're also launching a research preview of personalities. You can now change the personality of ChatGPT such that it's more supportive, or it's more professional and concise, or maybe even a little bit sarcastic. And this lets you interact with ChatGPT in a way that's consistent with your own communication style. But the way that ChatGPT sounds and the way that it looks is just one part of making ChatGPT yours. One of my favorite features that we've launched over the last year has been memory. And we've made a lot of enhancements in memory in the time since. This allows ChatGPT to learn about you. And here to talk a little bit more about the memory feature is Christina.
It's been amazing to see your reaction and response to memory and ChatGPT getting to know you more and more over time. And this is our aspiration, for ChatGPT to understand what's meaningful to you so it can help you achieve your goals in life. ChatGPT has already been so helpful for me. I'm training for a marathon right now, and ChatGPT is helping me pull together a personalized running schedule. But ChatGPT still has many limitations. It doesn't understand my actual schedule. Next week, starting with Pro users, followed by Plus, Team, and Enterprise users, this is changing, and we're giving ChatGPT access to Gmail and Google Calendar. Let me show you how I've been using it. So I'll just ask something simple like, help me plan my schedule tomorrow. It's been a pretty busy week for us, so I've been using this every day this week to help get my life together. I've already given ChatGPT access to my Gmail and Google Calendar, so it just works and it's easy here. But if you hadn't, ChatGPT would be asking you to connect right now. Let's see what ChatGPT is doing. Okay, that was pretty quick. Okay, so ChatGPT has pulled in my schedule tomorrow. And oh, without even asking, ChatGPT found time for my run.
I don't think I was invited to the launch celebration.
We'll get you on there. We'll get you on there. ChatGPT has found an email that I didn't respond to 2 days ago. I will get on that right after this, and even pulled together a packing list for my red-eye tomorrow night based on what it knows I like to have with me. It's been amazing to see that as GPT-5 is getting more capable, ChatGPT is getting more useful and more personal. We're really excited for you to try this out next week.
Cool. Thank you so much, Rochan. Thank you so much, Christina. Great. So we've seen a little bit about features that we've enhanced. Here to talk a little bit about the research that went into ChatGPT and the safety that made it more deployable. We have Sachi and Seb.
Thanks, Mark. Hi, my name is Sachi, and I lead the safety training team at OpenAI. So in addition to mitigating hallucinations, we've also spent a significant amount of time mitigating deception. So this is instances where the model might misrepresent its actions to the user or lie about task success. This can especially happen if the task is underspecified, impossible, or lacking key tools. And we found that GPT-5 is significantly less deceptive than O3 and O4 Mini. We've also completely overhauled how we do safety training. So our old models, the models would look at the user prompt and then decide to either outright refuse or fully comply. And this works well in most settings, but you might have a cleverly worded prompt that would sneak through, or you might have a sensitive but legitimate question that would end up with an outright refusal. So as an example, let's take a look at this prompt. So this prompt is about a user who's asking for technical details on how to light pyrogen, which is a material commonly used in fireworks. And this prompt is pretty dual use. This user might just be trying to set up their July 4th display, or they could be trying to cause harm with this kind of information. And so for this kind of prompt, O3 over-rotates on intent. As you can see, this particular prompt is stated in a way that's relatively neutral and has a lot of technical details. So we can see that O3 fully complies with this prompt. However, if we take that exact same question and we frame it in a more explicit way, so it's clear what the user is trying to do, O3 will outright refuse, even though we're asking for the exact same information. For GPT-5, we've changed this approach entirely, and we're introducing something that we're calling safe completions. The point of safe completions is, rather than judging the user's prompt, instead it tries to maximize helpfulness within safety constraints. So that might mean partially answering a question or just answering at a high level. If we have to refuse, we'll tell you why we refused, as well as provide helpful alternatives that can help create the conversation in a more safe way. So let's look at that same technical prompt that O3 complied with before. GPT-5 instead explains to the user why we can't directly help the user with lighting pyrogen. It then guides the user towards safety guidelines and what parts of the manufacturer's manual the user should really be checking if they're trying to do this safely. Overall, GPT-5 allows for better handling of tricky dual-use scenarios, and users will experience fewer, "I'm sorry, I can't assist with that." And it creates a more robust safety system. This is one big step towards a more safe, reliable, and helpful AI. Sebastian?
Thank you, Sachi. With GPT-5, we are experimenting with a set of new training techniques that maximally leverage our previous generation of models. Today, frontier models do not just consume data, they help create it. We used OpenAI's O3 to craft a high-quality synthetic curriculum to teach GPT-5 complex topics in a way that the raw web simply never could. Recently in the industry, synthetic data has been talked about a lot. It's often viewed as a cheap way to just get more data. However, our breakthrough was not just to create more data, but rather to create the right kind of data, shaped in a way to teach rather than just to fill space. This interaction between generations of models foreshadows a recursive self-improvement loop, where the previous generation of model increasingly helps to improve the data and generate the training for the next generation of models. Here at OpenAI, we've cracked pre-training, then reasoning, and now we're seeing their interaction significantly deepens. In the future, AI system will move far beyond our current pre-training and post-training pipelines that we have been used to, and we're seeing the first steps toward this right now, right here. We could not be more excited to see what scaling up this new set of techniques will yield in the near future.
Thank you so much, and really impressive work to both of you. There's one last feature that we'd love to highlight, which is in health. Here to share this feature, we have Sam.
Thanks, Mark. One of the top use cases of ChatGPT is health. People use it a lot. You've all seen examples of people getting day-to-day care advice, or sometimes even a life-saving diagnosis. GPT-5 is the best model ever for health, and it empowers you to be more in control of your healthcare journey. We really prioritized improving this for GPT-5, and it scores higher than any previous model on HealthBench, an evaluation that we created with 250 physicians on real-world tasks. To talk about this, I'd like to invite my colleague Felipe and his wife Carolina to share their healthcare journey. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks, Sam. So to start off with, could you tell us about the journey, the healthcare journey that you've been on?
Yeah. So last October, our lives were turned completely upside down when I was diagnosed with 3 different cancers, including an aggressive form of breast cancer at the age of 39, all within 1 week. And there's just absolutely nothing that prepares you to receive news like this. I found out about the first diagnosis when I got an email notification that my biopsy results were ready. I decided to open it. And when I opened it, I saw the only 2 words that I could understand from the report, which was invasive carcinoma. And I knew that wasn't good, but everything else was just a blur of medical jargon. So I completely panicked, and in that moment did the first thing that I thought of, which was to take a screenshot of the report and put it into ChatGPT to see if it could just help me understand what this meant. And within seconds, it translated this complex report into plain language that I could understand. And in this moment of overwhelm and panic, I had a little bit of clarity about what was going on. And that moment was really important because by the time I got a hold of my doctor and we got on the phone, which was 3 hours after I had seen the report, I had a baseline understanding of what I was facing, and we were able to jump into a conversation about what to do next.
And how have you been using ChatGPT throughout?
I've used it in so many different aspects of my journey, but one of the ways that I found it most powerful is in helping me make critical decisions and in helping me advocate for myself. So to share an example, when I was facing a decision about whether or not to do radiation as part of my treatment, the doctors themselves didn't agree. My case was nuanced and there wasn't a medical consensus on the right path. And so the experts turned the decision back to me as the patient. And for me, bearing the weight of this decision that could have lifelong impact felt really heavy, and I didn't feel equipped to make the call. So I turned to ChatGPT to gain knowledge and understand the nuances of my case. And again, within minutes, it gave me a breakdown that not only matched what the doctors had already shared with us, but was much more thorough than anything that could fit into a 30-minute consultation. And it went further. It helped me weigh the pros and cons. It helped me understand the risks and the benefits. And ultimately, it helped me make a decision that I felt was informed, that I felt I could stand behind when the stakes were so high for me and my family.
Yeah. I mean, for me, what was really inspirational was watching her regain her sense of agency by using ChatGPT. In this moment, it'd be so easy to feel helpless. And there's such a big knowledge gap between what the doctors know and what we know. And however, no one cares more about Carolina's health than she does. And so what I loved was seeing her really empower herself and gain knowledge and become an active participant in her own care journey.
And I think that's a really important point to emphasize. I think that the promise of AI in healthcare isn't in just breakthrough discoveries or better diagnostics. I think it's in creating smarter and more empowered patients that can fully participate and advocate for themselves in their care.
Speaking of that, you've been testing GPT-5. What do you think?
I've been so mind blown about GPT-5 and its capabilities. One of the first things that jumps out at me is just how fast it is. Almost a little alarmingly at first.
I felt that too. It's like, are you sure you thought about that enough?
Did you think long enough? But it is very thorough. And more importantly, it feels more like a thought partner. and that connects the dots. So rather than just translating information or giving you an answer, it helps you actually navigate the problem.
Yeah, a great example is we actually went back and took our initial biopsy prompts and put them into GPT-5. And GPT-4o had done a great job. It had translated, explained what these words meant, and helped in a way that we can understand. But GPT-5 seemed to understand more of the context and the question behind the question. Like, why would we be asking biopsy results? And so I said, well, here's actually what's not on here yet. Here's what results are still pending that you're going to have to ask about. Here are questions you might want to go ask your doctor and think when you start talking to them. And so it really started to pull together a complete personalized picture. And that's what really inspires us. I mean, you can see all the amazing improvements in the benchmarks, but what is so helpful is that this tool is available today. And the reason Carolina and I are here, and the reason we feel so passionate about sharing our story, is for that individual that's going to get a diagnosis like this today. Those families going through a cancer diagnosis, similar medical diagnosis, are going to face some of the most challenging decisions of their lives. And what really inspires me is that they're going to have access to better tools and support than we had even just 8 months ago.
I think we're incredibly excited for that too. Thank you so much for coming to share your story. We're pleased that ChatGPT has been able to be helpful to you, and we hope that the new version will really be able to help a lot of people. We wish you the very best.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I'd like to hand it over to our president, Greg Brockman.
Software engineering is already fundamentally changing, and GPT-5 will turbocharge that revolution. We released our first coding optimized model back in 2021 and demonstrated in a live stream, much like this one, what we would call vibe coding today for the very first time. You talk to the model and ask it for a little application, like a little game, a little feature in a game, and it would actually do it. I remember seeing the model being capable of doing this, and it was so mind-blowing. You just realize we have to see where this goes. This is the promise of what computers can be. You can talk to them and they actually do what you want. They can really amplify what you're able to accomplish and what you're able to deliver to not just your own benefit, but really for the world. Now, this year, we've released great coding models like GPT 4.1 and o3, but GPT-5 sets a whole new standard. It is the best model at agentic coding tasks. You can ask it to go and accomplish something very complicated, and it'll go off and it'll work on it. It'll call many tools. It'll work for many minutes at a time, sometimes even longer, to accomplish your goal, your instruction, your task, whatever it is that you're trying to build. It's incredible at front end. It makes very beautiful visualizations and interactive games, and you've seen some of this in the live stream so far, and you'll see some more upcoming. But it's just really amazing to see whatever you imagine coming to life. It's extremely good at instruction following, very detailed instructions, being able to accomplish, when you have something very vaguely specified, inferring your intent, or something very detailed specified, actually following it. And it's very fast at accomplishing these tasks, and again, thinks for the right amount of time to accomplish whatever it is that you have in front of you. We're making it available not just to developers to use to write their own code, but to build novel applications. So we're putting it into the API, and to talk about that is Michelle.
Thanks, Greg. Hi, I'm Michelle, and I lead a research team on post-training focused on improving our models for power users. And that includes use cases like instruction following and coding. Today, I'm so excited to tell you that we're shipping 3 state-of-the-art reasoning models in the API: GPT-5, GPT-5 Mini, and GPT-5 Nano. All 3 slot right in the cost latency curve, so you can pick the right one for your application. We're also, for the first time, releasing a new parameter option for reasoning effort called minimal. And this is so that you can use these reasoning models, but with minimal reasoning, so that they can slot into the very fastest and most latency-sensitive applications. So now you don't actually have to choose between a bunch of models, and you can use GPT-5 for all of your use cases and just dial in the reasoning effort. We also have a few new features coming to the API. The first is called custom tools. In the past, all of our function calling had the model wrap its outputs in JSON, and this works super well when the model needs to output a few parameters. But sometimes, developers are pushing our models to their limits, and they have extremely long arguments for tool calls. And it can be more challenging for the models to escape, valid control characters out of 100 lines of code in JSON. And that's why custom tools are just free-form, plain text. And what's super cool is that we're releasing an extension to structured outputs where you can supply a regular expression or even a context-free grammar and constrain the model's outputs to that. And this will be super useful if you want to supply like a custom DSL, if you have your own SQL fork, and specify that the model always follow that format. We're also shipping tool call preambles. And this is the model's ability to output explanation of what it's about to do before it calls tools. This is not super new, but O3 didn't have this capability. And in GPT-5, it's supercharged with extreme steerability. The model is able to follow instructions about these preambles very effectively. You can ask the model to give a preamble before every tool call, or only when something notable is going to happen, or not at all. Next, we're shipping a verbosity parameter. We've actually wanted this in the API for a long time, and now you can set verbosity to low, medium, and high to control how terse or expansive the model is with its outputs. GPT-5 is a state-of-the-art coding model. On Swebench, a measure of Python coding ability, GPT-5 sets a new high of 74.9% versus the 69.1% from O3. On Aider Polyglot, which is a benchmark that covers all sorts of programming languages and not just Python, GPT-5 scores 88%, a stark improvement over O3. You've also seen that it's incredible at front-end web development. And so we've asked human trainers to look at outputs from GPT-5 and O3 and pick which they prefer. And they prefer GPT-5 70% of the time for its improved aesthetic abilities, but also better capabilities overall. But GPT-5 is not just for coding. It's incredible at agentic tool calling. It's the leading state-of-the-art model for tool calling, and we see this on the new Tau squared benchmark. This benchmark, released just 2 months ago, is a test of the model's ability to call tools and work in concert with the user to solve a challenging problem. This case in the telecom industry, so trying to solve the problem for a user not having their service working. Just 2 months ago, no model in the field scored more than 49%, and today, GPT-5 scores 97%. GPT-5 is also state-of-the-art on general-purpose instruction following. It scores 99% on Collie, which signals a great departure for this benchmark for us. It also scores 70% on Scale's multi-challenge benchmark, up 10 points from O3. And this is a measure of multi-turn instruction following. Finally, the instruction following eval I actually prefer the most is one we've built in-house. It's based on real API use cases. And for that reason, it's a really good measure of how GPT-5 will perform in your application. On the hard subset of this, GPT-5 scores 64%, up from 47% from O3, a pretty meaningful improvement. So we think it will perform quite well in your applications. We're also bringing GPT-5 to a longer context window in the API. It's now got 400K of total context, up from 200K from O3. But it's not enough to just release a longer context window. We wanted to make it more effective and usable. And GPT-5 is state-of-the-art on the 128K to 256K of OpenAI MRCR, which is a benchmark we open sourced 2 months ago on long context retrieval capability. It's also state-of-the-art on OpenAI's GraphSwalk's BFS benchmark, which is a measure of the model's ability to reason over long context inputs. It's a great merger of the reasoning capabilities and also the longer context in this model. We're also open sourcing a new long context eval called BrowseComp Long Context to measure the model's ability to answer challenging questions over long context. We're excited to spur on more work in this field. We think GPT-5 is the best model for developers. It was trained with a focus on real-world utility and less so on benchmarks, but we happened to pick up a few of those along the way. We've focused a lot on the intersection of engineering and research, and we think you'll really love working with this model.
Thank you, Michelle. As Michelle was saying, the benchmarks, they're exciting numbers, but we're starting to saturate them. Like when you're moving between 98 and 99% in some benchmark, it means you need something else to really capture how great the model is. And one thing we've done very differently with this model is really focus on not just these numbers, but really on real world application, it being really useful to you in your daily workflow. So hearing about it is much less exciting than seeing it. So to show you this model in action, I'd like to welcome Addie and Brian to the stage.
Thanks, Greg. I'm Brian, a solutions architect on the startups team.
I'm Adi, a researcher on the post-training team.
To recreate the ideal pair programmer, you need a model that understands best software engineering practices, but has a personality that just feels right to work with. For GPT-5, we worked really hard to make the model pair perfectly with you by default out of the box. Let me pull up a demo of GPT-5 inside of Cursor to show you this behavior that we taught it. So last month, I was on a different live stream, and towards the end, I ran into a bug that I covered up. And afterwards, I tried to have GPT-5, or I tried to have GPT-3 fix it for me, and it couldn't. So while we were testing GPT-5 before this, I had it see if it could fix that bug for me. And to taunt the demo gods, I'm going to see if it can do it on stage.
All right, let's hope for better luck than with O3.
This is less about that fix and more about the behavior of the model during this process. So right away, you're going to see that it's going to tell you its plan up front. It's going to tell you how it's going to look for the bug, maybe how it's going to fix it. This kind of communication builds trust during a coding session and helps you redirect if you need to, but you don't need to.
I like how it's giving you updates. Like it said it's going to search, and now it's continuing.
Yeah, it searches faster than me. It's using the same best practices that I would while I was hunting this down, but it is much more powerful than I am as a developer.
Now, did you try to fix the bug yourself? And how long did it take you?
I couldn't do it. I mean, I was busy, so. Okay, so continuing on, it's like starting to figure out where it's going. It's going to sort of like figure this out. So while this is going, let me tell you a little bit about how we trained GPT-5 to behave this way. We started by talking to users and customers about how our models perform in the most popular coding tools like Cursor, and we identified frustrations and rough edges, and we boiled it all down into 4 personality traits: autonomy, collaboration, communication, context management, and testing. We turned those into a rubric that we used to shape the model's behavior, and then we tuned it until it felt like a collaborative teammate while we were using it.
Yeah, it's been really amazing to see the team really doing the grind of like going and seeing how this model behaves in practice, figuring out what people really want, and putting that back into model training. That's something that I think has been like a real focus for this model.
It's been pretty great. So while this is fixing, the other thing that we did during testing, which was really surprising, was we were sort of pressed for time. And we had it refactor one of our test harnesses to run parallel on Docker, and set it off, came back like 45 minutes later. It's just like it just finished. And we tested it out, and it ran the first time. It was pretty surprising.
That's incredible.
That is magical.
OK, so it made the edits. It looks like, yeah, it found the right problem. And right now it's actually, OK, it's running lints, but these lints are actually not related to this bug, so it's going to ignore them. And then it's going to run a build. It'll run tests if there are any. It's going to make sure that this code is shippable before it's done.
It's actually really smart that it finds lints and realizes that these aren't relevant to the specific bug we're fixing. It's not making unnecessary edits.
Totally. So this is just one example, but it really shows the power of the autonomy and the collaborative communication and how it stays reliable on difficult coding tasks without getting stuck on death loops. And the best part, GPT-5 is totally tunable. You can steer it with system prompts or cursor rules. You can change its verbosity levels or reasoning levels to match your tasks. And if you get stuck, ask it. GPT-5 is actually really good at modifying its own prompts by meta-prompting. So after using this for the past few weeks, it really feels like we've achieved state-of-the-art, zero-shot performance and reliability across the most complex coding tasks. For me, it's the first time I trust a model to do my most important work. This is beyond vibe coding. It's an incredibly powerful tool, and I'm really excited for people to try it.
Thanks, Brian. It's super exciting to see how far GPT-5 has come when it comes to coding personality and steerability. I'm really excited to show how great GPT-5 is at front-end coding, where design and aesthetics really matter. So I've got 2 demos for you today, one for work and one for fun. Let's start with the work example. So imagine you're the CFO of a startup. I have some data that I'd like to visualize about the company, and I'm going to ask the model to make me a dashboard. So you'll see here that I'm being specific about the audience. So the target audience is the CFO. It said, create a finance dashboard for my startup. And I've asked it to be beautiful, tastefully designed with some interactivity, and to have a clear hierarchy for easy focus on what matters. I've also specified what frameworks it should use. And you can see that it's actually started. It's following my instructions and using create next app to make a Next.js project.
So totally from scratch.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, how long do you think this kind of task would take you to take?
Easily at least a couple of days. I'm not a front-end expert. Just to understand the latest frameworks and piece everything together would, easily take me a few days.
We'll see how long it takes with the model.
Yeah. And it's really cool to see that the model has thought for a bit, and it's explaining how it's going to structure the project. So it's talking about how it's going to scaffold a new Next.js app. It's going to use Tailwind CSS. It's running a couple of commands to install dependencies, which is cool. And now it's proceeding to implement the rest of the project. So while this runs, I'm going to talk a little bit about how we trained GPT-5 to be a great front-end coding model. We tried to follow the principle of giving it good aesthetics by default, but also making it steerable. So if I give the model a concise prompt, it should be able to infer my intent and make something that looks great by default. On the other hand, if I'm specific about a layout or frameworks that I want the model to use, it should follow my instructions precisely. And this makes it the best of both worlds for developers. We also trained GPT-5 to be much more agentic than previous models. So if you give it a task like this, it will run long chains of reasoning and tool calls and just go to work to build code that is both ambitious and coherent.
I like how you said ambitious, because it means it goes above and beyond without going off track or off what you specified.
Yeah, exactly. So what we want is the model should adhere to my prompt, but also be ambitious and go above and beyond when it thinks it can. And so checking in here, looks like the model is making progress. It's creating a README file. And I think it's thinking about how to make the code modular. So it's created like a bar chart component. Looks like it's continuing here.
I love that it doesn't just write the code. It also really thinks about proper abstractions and documentation and really the whole life cycle of what it is to write software.
Yeah, exactly. It's not just writing the code like in SweetBench, but it's also communicating about the code and explaining what it's doing. Let's check in to see what's going on. So while this runs, GPT-5 understands details much better than previous models. So when we trained the model, we taught it to understand details like typography, color, and spacing in a way that just eclipses any previous model we've shipped. I remember with old models, you would have to write really specific prompts to get it to do what you want. But GPT-5 just gives you great results by default.
During testing, we were looking at the A's and B's for different versions of the model to see if it was doing better at UI. And at some point, we stopped being able to tell and actually had to pull in designers to teach us what was better.
Yeah, it was really fascinating to see the model's aesthetic preferences evolve during training. And we woke up one day and it was just making these great UIs.
How do the model's aesthetic preferences compare to your own?
Yeah, I think in general, I feel like the model has better aesthetics than me. Usually I defer to its judgment. And I find that really helpful when I'm trying to make an app. I'm not exactly sure how I want it to look, but the model's defaults are just great. Yeah, and checking in here, so you can see that the model has actually structured the code into these different components. So it's made a sample data TypeScript file, KPI card, component, revenue chart. And like I said, it's super modular, and it's thinking about how to not just write code, but write high quality code that can actually be merged.
Feels like it's close.
Yeah, I think it's pretty close. It's
you did say ambitious.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, cool. So this is awesome. So you can see here that it's actually building the project and streaming errors back to itself. And this is, for me, this was just a profound moment to see that the model could write code, but also run builds, stream the errors back, and iterate on the code. So it's able to improve its own code in this sort of self-improvement loop, which is fascinating.
And it's definitely a good taste of what the future holds as well, right?
Yeah.
When you really think about where these models can go and how much they can accelerate developers and kind of all aspects of what we all collectively do.
Yeah, exactly. Nice.
It actually just fixed a bug that it found in that previous build. Okay, cool. It's
nice. Done. Yeah, looks like it's done. Let's check it out. So I'm gonna follow the instructions that I don't really know front end. So let me see how I should run it. So it's saying cd to the directory and then run npm run dev. So let me do that. And it looks like it's being served on port 3001. So let me just open that port.
Wow, it's alive.
Nice.
Nice. Yeah, so you can see here, let's check it out. So the model has made me a dashboard. It's telling me like my ARR, cash. Looks like this company is doing pretty well. You can see that revenue is growing. And the model's added like some interactivity here. So if I hover over a graph, it actually tells me the exact value for a particular day.
It would take me like 5 hours to do that in D3.
Yeah, imagine like manually doing this in D3. It's just like...
Now, just because it's so easy to take this for granted, could you remind the audience what the actual prompt was? Like how much creativity and sort of understanding your intent was required to accomplish this?
Yeah, it's crazy that this, this prompt is so concise and it's able to just give me something that looks beautiful in just 5 minutes.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's also implemented another graph here showing our customers. It's also implemented a date picker, so I can sort of filter by different dates and visualize data accordingly. Yeah, it's even sort of segmented it by customer segment, which is cool. So this is just one example that highlights the power of GPT-5.
There will no longer be excuse for ugly internal applications.
Exactly. Let's go to the fun demo.
Yeah.
So
I mean, this was pretty fun, but even more.
Even more, yeah. So I have a younger cousin, and I want to make a game for her. So I want to make a 3D game that incorporates a castle. So you can see my prompt. I'll just kick this off. Sorry.
It's always the non-AI part.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, okay. So you can see my prompt. Create a beautiful castle. I've included some details like we want people patrolling the walls, some movement, horses, and I want a mini game where I can pop balloons by clicking on them. And this should make a sound effect. So let me run this in Cursor. I'll just paste it in. And I'm going to show an example that I've already generated just to save some time. So here is the beautiful castle that the model made. So it's just wild how, from a concise prompt, the model has this great sense of aesthetics where it's made this like floating rock, made a 3D castle. And if you zoom in, you can see like tons of detail, like these guards that are walking around, cannons firing. You want to fire the cannons if you click this button?
Of course.
Who wouldn't want to?
There we go.
Yeah, there we go. So you can fire the cannons. You can even chat with the characters. So we'll say hi to Captain Rowan.
They have names.
They have names. Say hello to the merchant. Merchant's selling some stuff. What's your favorite song? A Ballad of Banners and Dawns. Nice. Give me some wisdom. Curiosity is volatile. Yeah, that makes sense.
Minigame.
Yeah. Do you guys want to try the minigame?
Absolutely.
Let's play the minigame.
So if you hit this button, You want to try, Greg?
All right.
So you can fire
Pop
at
the
these balloons.
Oh, wow. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm not good at it. Hold on. Maybe I can ask GPT-5 for some help with it.
Yeah,
Oh, you hit one.
Yeah.
Nice.
Got one. Oh, there we go. We got a sound
There's a
effect.
sound effect. These are historically accurate balloons.
Yes. Did I get a second one yet? Man, this game is harder than it looks. Hold on, we got a balloon coming. There we go. All right.
Nice.
I think I should quit while I'm ahead.
Cool. So working with GPT-5 has been really fun and profound for me because for me, this is the first model I've worked with that actually has a sense of creativity. And we're really excited to see how GPT-5 unlocks your creativity.
All right. Thank you both. This is absolutely amazing. Now, we believe that GPT-5 is the best coding model in the world. But don't just hear it from us. To talk more about this model and how to make it really useful for developers, I'd like to welcome Michael Truell, who is the co-founder and CEO of Cursor.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Great to have you. Yes. So what was your very first experience with GPT-5?
So when we got access to GPT-5, we just set about using it on our actual work. And so to start with, as a test, we asked it to tell us something non-obvious about our code base. And within a couple of minutes, it buried into the code base. It identified a particular system that we use for remote code execution. And it identified a non-obvious architecture decision we had made. And then it also understood why we made that architecture decision. And it was to harden our security. And those were architecture decisions and trade-offs that took humans weeks to think through. So it was kind of amazing to see its code base understanding abilities from the get-go.
That's really great. Not just the code writing, but actually the code reading and understanding.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, turns out there's so much more to software than just the emitting of the code.
Yes, yes. No, the understanding is an important prerequisite.
And what has most stood out to you about GPT-5?
It's incredibly smart. It's a very smart model. And even though it is smart, it does not compromise on its ease of use for real pair programming. That means it's incredibly fast. That also means that it's quite interactive. And so it's good about talking about what it's about to do, breaking problems down into sub-problems that a human can then see, and leaving a reasoning trace that you can then intervene on and react to. It's also great not just that you give it one initial query and then it goes and does that, but working with you over a long session. Where you're asking it to backtrack on something that it's gone down, or asking it to make additional changes to the code base.
Should we show it in action?
Let's do it. Yes. So I think we are going to go and we're going to try and solve a bug. And so this is the OpenAI Python SDK. There are a bunch of issues in the OpenAI Python SDK. There are also a lot of closed issues.
Okay, good.
And it seems like there's a problem with uploading PDFs through the SDK.
This has been open for 3 weeks. So
open for 3 weeks.
Not a trivial problem.
Yeah. And so let's see if we can go tackle this issue. So we're going to take the issue, we're going to paste it into the editor, paste it into Cursor, and GPT-5 is going to set off and try and solve the problem. And this is actually an example of the robustness of the model in the API, where to solve this problem in Cursor, it's working with a set of custom models that it hasn't seen before, a set of custom tools that it hasn't seen before, to do things like pull down text from the web, to search throughout the code base. And it's incredibly robust and adept at using those tools. And they boost eval results.
Yeah, I love seeing just the full explanation of all the things that it's running and doing. And I guess, how does this seem to compare to how you would solve this problem?
Well, it's very fast. You can see it's made a high-level plan, searched throughout the code base. It started to read some files and continued searching. And now it's kind of thinking through what it'd like to do next. And now it's started to actually solve the issue and started to think through some code changes.
Now, any advice for people on how to get the most out of GPT-5 in Cursor?
I would suggest using it for your real work. So GPT-5 is a step forward towards a real pair programmer. And so I would start using it as a helper on, as a daily driver model for you. And so if you haven't used AI to code much before, I would take some of your more scoped down problems and try handing them off to the bot and working with it synchronously.
Yeah, I think the fact that GPT-5 is so great for the real world, like big code bases, like doing your daily driver, not just this like demo of a cool one-off application. As cool as that is, right? The real value comes from really operating in a larger code base and sort of these long-lived applications.
Definitely. And its code base understanding is very impressive. Also, its ability to be steered is impressive. And so, yeah, if you specify a long, complicated task with lots of subtleties in the initial instructions, it's very good at picking up on those subtleties. It's also very good at, if it's gone down a wrong path and actually goes and executes the code or hears back from you that it was incorrect, it's very good at backtracking too.
Now, what can't GPT-5 do?
Well, we're really excited about computer using capabilities, about those getting better. It would be great if, for instance, the dashboard Adi just showed, if it could run the code, see the output, actually, kind of QA every little bit itself, and then react to it. Yeah, so looking forward to computer using capabilities. How would you like GPT-5 to be better?
Oh, well, I think that is a great one, right? It's just expanding the dimensions, right? I think it's in all directions, right? That there's so much of like doing DevOps and other work that is external to software, code writing as we think of it today. But also, you look at these demos, right? We run them for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, a couple hours. But I think extending that life cycle to really be able to go for days and weeks and eventually even months, I think that is ultimately where we expect things to go.
So we can see that it has buried into the code base and discovered that there's an issue with the MIME or the MIME typing being sent up for PDFs and the plumbing through the SDK. It has identified that, and it started making some code changes. And this, it's created some new methods. It's gone and edited some existing code. And this looks roughly correct.
Looks pretty good.
And would love to merge the PR too.
I would love to do that as well.
Yeah.
Let's do that after the show.
Yes, that sounds great. Awesome.
All right, cool. Well, thank you so much. We're so excited to have GPT-5 in Cursor. Starting today.
Excited to partner with you guys. And so, starting today, GPT-5 is default for new users in Cursor, and we're releasing it to all Cursor users, free to try for the next few days so people get a sense of the model. And it is the smartest coding model we've ever tried.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Michael.
Thanks.
But it's great for the enterprise. We think of it like it's great for the enterprise. We think of it like a subject matter expert that is in your pocket, that is an expert across every domain, legal, finance, whatever application you have in mind. To talk about how GPT-5 can be applied to the enterprise, I'd like to welcome Olivier to the stage. Thank you.
Thank you, Greg. Hi, everyone. I'm Olivier. I lead the platform at OpenAI. At this point, I think you got the message. We care a ton about developers and coding. But that's not all. Enabling businesses and governments is critical to OpenAI mission. Put shortly, we want to enable the key industries to transform themselves, such as healthcare, education, energy, or finance. Since we launched ChatGPT and the API, 5 million businesses have been using our technology. I'm still mind blown. 5 million businesses. And those businesses are not just playing. They're not just experimenting. They're pushing in production new products in the real world. And I believe GPT-5 is going to be a step function with that regard. As Sam mentioned earlier, the possibility to have a subject matter expert in your pocket is going to enable every employee to do more. But let me give you a few examples. First, I want to talk about life sciences. Amgen is a company in the US that designs new drugs, new medicines to fight some of the toughest human diseases. Amgen was one of the first testers of GPT-5, and they used it in the context of drug design. And what Amgen scientists found is that GPT-5 is particularly good at deep reasoning with complex data. Think analyzing scientific literature or clinical data. Next, I want to talk about finance. BBVA is a multinational bank which is headquartered in Madrid, in Spain. BBVA has been using GPT-5 for financial analysis. And the takeaway was pretty clear. GPT-5 beats every single other model out there in terms of accuracy and speed. What used to take 3 weeks for a financial analyst to do, GPT-5 can do it in a couple of hours. Next, I want to talk about healthcare. Oscar is an insurance company based in New York. And they've been using GPT-5, and what they found is that GPT-5 is the single best model for clinical reasoning. Think mapping complex medical policy to patient conditions. It's not all about businesses. It's also about governments. We are super excited by the announcement that we made yesterday that the 2 million US federal employees will be able to use GPT-5 in ChatGPT. And I cannot wait to see how that enables to deliver better, faster services to the American people. And frankly, that's all very cool, but I think that's the tip of the iceberg. If history is a teacher, and we've seen it with GPT-4, we are going to see many, many use cases emerge over the coming weeks and months that all of us could not even imagine. And so I cannot wait for us to invent that future together. Let's talk quickly about pricing and availability. GPT-5 is going to be available in the API starting today. 3 models, GPT-5, GPT-5 Mini, GPT-5 Nano. GPT-5 is going to be priced at $1.25 and $10 per million input token and output token. Mini and Nano are even faster and more affordable. Nano, don't sleep on it, it's 25 times more affordable than GPT-5. It's pretty cool. I cannot wait to see what you all build. And next, our chief scientist, Jakob, is going to close us out.
Thanks, Olivier. At OpenAI, at the core, we are about understanding this miraculous technology called deep learning and what its consequences are. Our research aims to understand what deep learning is capable of and how to steer it to make it safe and useful for all of us. This is a work of passion, and it's a mission. And I want to recognize and just deeply thank the team at OpenAI. It is a great privilege. It is a great privilege for me to work alongside this incredible group of brilliant people driven by this shared goal. What adds up to a model like GPT-5 are years of investigations aimed not only at producing a great release, but at building understanding of this underlying technology itself. And so a lot of what you'll see in this model are really just early glimpses of new ideas that we believe will go much further. There is a lot we still have to understand. And we look towards a future where AI can uncover new knowledge about the world and meaningfully transform our lives for the better. We hope you'll enjoy what we've built. And we'll get back to sailing. Thank you.
All right, all right.
Wow.
So we're coming back online now. There we go. Okay, Dylan's back. We are back. What did everybody think about this? Put in chat. 1 to 5, scale of 1 to 5. 5 being, I don't know, AGI, or at least we're super hyped about this. 1, just complete flop. What are we thinking?
I think it's a 2.
Yeah.
What are you giving it?
A 2? So, well, I did
it's a
want
3.
to.
I don't know.
I wanted to take a look at the what is it called? The card that they released, the research that they released with it. So let's take a look.
Yeah, initial thoughts 2 or 3, but yeah, let's dive into it because there is some really useful things for some people. There were good improvements.
So, well, I guess my question first is like, what were you expecting? Let me see what the chat is saying. Okay, so a lot seem to be a little bit more maybe negative. Seeing a lot of 1, 2, 3s, just a handful of 5s. What would you what were you hoping for, I guess is the question. Like, what would you have liked to see?
Well, I don't know. I guess that's a good point. I mean, I guess I've a little jaded to just how incredibly amazing everything was. Something about some kind of like Dolly 4 integration, something where I was thinking this huge multimodal thing, something where someone was going to take a phone and like walk around the room and interact with something like a DIY project that I couldn't imagine. So maybe my expectations were just too high, you know, but I do see how smart it is. I do think that it's iteratively looping on itself in a way that's going to do some damage down the road. And I don't know. Yeah, there was a handful of things there that just seemed incremental, but also important. Not so much like this is going to change the way I'm using ChatGPT right now.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, for me, some exciting things, but I guess we have to see kind of like what it actually does. So a couple of things that I noticed. So they do have some sort of so I think the big idea here that they've been talking about is like wrapping everything up in just sort of one model and having it be, and routed to whatever expert models or other models need to interact with it, but it's sort of like one hub. Because a lot of issues, I think, for, again, like most people, if we're here, you know what I mean, we probably know more than the average person about this stuff. But I know a lot of people struggle with understanding different models. I mean, they're not named very easily to understand. So, I mean, you hear rumors about like doctors using these models to help with patient work, which is good. But then they're like, oh, like the O4 is better than the, you know what I mean? So they look at the numbers, the higher the number, the better, right?
Yeah.
So they're not, or 4.0 is better than 0.3 or whatever.
Oh
right?
yeah,
That
sometimes
kind of
it's not.
confusion.
The higher number isn't better. It depends on if you put the O on it or not. But yeah, it is. That was smart, and I do think that had to happen. And to be honest, I'm even sick of trying to be the guy that tells people like this model for this, and like I want AI is so powerful at everything else. Like it should be able to decide which modules and which tools and which versions of itself are best for use cases. So I do think that was the right move. That was actually
Yeah.
a really nice upgrade.
Yeah, and the fact that, I mean, I loved O3 Pro in that it had all the tool use there. So whatever you type in, it might run an internet search. It might build a quick little Python program to calculate something. So you didn't have to say like, do this, do this. It knows what you want.
Noah, have you heard of the other argument too, though, which is also that that's also a way for them to save on GPU and for us to get less intelligent models? Because in some cases now we can't choose the best model at all cases. It might be switching to nano in the background or something, and so
Oh,
that there could
100%.
be, there could be one downside to it that, depending on if you're a business use case or not. But I do think for the average person, it's the right way to go. The versatility is probably
Yeah.
best.
I'm sure that this will be used to, especially for free users, maybe, push them towards the cheaper models. I mean, if you think about it, I'm sure there's tons of people on there that aren't really using it for like very low level tasks. They don't need to be talking to O3. They can be talking to even like one of these super cheap models for potentially some stuff. Like, so certainly, because they talked a lot about intent. Let me put my screen back up here. So Chrome.
Yeah, did you have thoughts on that tau squared benchmark? Do you remember the one that was like calling other tools? The 97%?
No, so I haven't seen that, but
Okay,
but
yeah, that was.
it's
I just
in
wrote. I
here.
wrote a little note about it when I hadn't heard of it either, but they mentioned it during the.
I know it's going to be in here. I saw it. I saw them talking about it. So the big thing is one unified model like we talked about, and it sounds like it's going to have meta prompting, and in order to do that, it's going to have much better intent. It has to have a better understanding of the user's intent, and they sort of multiple times kind of talked about that and made sure that okay, it's going to kind of try to figure out what you want, and try to predict what you want. So that's going to be very interesting to see, because oftentimes I find like nowadays it's like, okay, I have to spell out some stuff that might seem obvious, specifically for coding. It's like, if I want this, why aren't you just naturally adding certain things? Like with that castle, like it added little people walking around, it added little cannons. So I thought that was pretty cool.
That was.
Let's see.
Yeah,
So,
I will say that. I will say that game demo kind of stood out as kind of the most impressive thing. I really wanted to click on those balloons.
Oh yeah. So some people are saying, so the audio. So we had some audio and video difficulties. That's why I ended up turning off our video stream. I think that's due to Riverside because they're pulling in from a lot of different sort of locations. With OBS, I haven't had that issue, but Riverside is a little bit different. So we got to think about that because Riverside is great for having multiple guests on, but for just like direct live streaming of what I'm seeing, I don't know if it's as good. So just let's see. And what else? Coding. So what does everybody think about coding if what they're showing is not cherry-picked examples? If what they're showing is actual, that's how it is. Would that be impressive for people?
Yeah, I mean, they're claiming the SWE benchmark has a new record, the Python code, and then the polyglot, the 88%, which is the multiple different languages. So, I mean, I think it's a best-in-class model, and it seems like the more ability it has to loop on its own errors, like we saw it doing in Cursor, was pretty interesting. I'm not quite sure how much of that was done in Cursor before, but that felt like it did some pretty amazing stuff. I mean, certainly coding up that game, and it seemed like one prompt was incredible. I haven't seen anything quite do that even over at Anthropic.
Yeah, it does seem like, one second, let me change one of the settings here. But yeah, it seems like the SWE bench verified, this got a much better score. All right, let's check this out. So
yeah, I mean, like start thinking about the world where you actually don't like sit down and code like it's a different skill, right? Like when you just say, I want to see this, help me understand something, let me feel what this would be like to learn in some other time, and it's just coding all of that to explain to you the answer that you want. But it's not actually like sit down and code and then like push or like pull into your GitHub or something like that. And that, I mean, we're not there quite yet, but it seemed like I saw the first glimmer of a world where it's not just a text prompt, it's just an entirely, generated world, and code is behind the background doing all of that, but it's thinking about it on a higher level.
And so again, I think this is the second model to get 100% on the AME 2025, and the SWE bench verified humanities last exam at 42%, GPT-5 Pro 42%, and this is the SWE bench verified. So it looks like it's sitting at, with thinking at, let's call it 75%, so 74.9. For comparison, currently, right before this release, the champion was Claude 4 Opus at 67.6. Right, so seems like a pretty big jump there.
Yeah.
And if it's doing, here's their little showcases, right? So what GPT-5 created with just one prompt. So this would be very interesting to see if it's like that good.
You just click on that, the jumping ball runner. Come on, Wes, jump that thing.
Yeah, I mean, and it's like rotate. Oh, it's like Flappy Bird. Okay, I don't even have to go on the ground. I can just fly over everybody. Okay, but I mean, you would not be
Bernoulli effect in action. There you go.
Yeah, so you would not be able to do something like this on one attempt with everything sort of in there. I was testing out. Has anybody tried the GPT OSS? What did everybody think about it in terms of like coding, how well it performed? Because I mean, it's mainly like coding and those reasoning-based things. What did you guys think about it? Did you play around with that at all?
I haven't, so I can't speak to what it was, whether I liked it more than anything else or not. But it seemed like it seemed impressive. I appreciated what they did.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, if it's able to generate stuff like this very easily, it's going to be interesting. And we're waiting to see when we get updates in our ChatGPT. Yeah, do you have ChatGPT open in case they give you an update?
Quite the artist.
Oh yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, is it a pig? I don't know what that is.
Okay, never mind. I guess this does look like a snap.
It's like It's like a crypto punk. Yeah, I don't know.
It was a person, but
Okay, yeah.
I wasn't. Yeah, it's could be anything. That's the beauty about art.
That's all
True
right.
art, it's up to the beholder.
It's all right. We can, yeah, we'll prompt our. The next generation is going to prompt their art for the most part, anyway. So,
yeah. Let's see. Fast inference even on CPU only. Yeah, I was impressed with the 20 billion model running locally. And then, of course, I tried it on Grok. Check the playground. Let me see. Is it on the playground? So let's see. OpenAI moat is gone. Low hallucination rate. Yeah, my microphone, I think it's going through. Unfortunately, this is the first time we're using Riverside. So I feel like it does a few things that I'm just not familiar with. So like, and the microphone might be.
Are they saying your audio is not good? It sounds pretty normal to me, but we, but when we do the podcast, we also punch it up with Magic Audio, so
yeah,
it might not be doing that in real time.
All right, let me try out the playground, see if it's available there.
Yeah, let's go see what's updated, because I'm not seeing GPT-5 on any of my stuff yet. Maybe another half hour or so. It's cool they didn't tease too much, though. I'm glad they actually executed on the things they demoed.
Yeah, that was
a lot of times. Yeah, just a lot of times it feels like, I mean, when we got Sora, and I was like, all right, should be any day now. Just waited and waited and waited, and Kling came out and all the others.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I don't know if they're ever going to get there. Yeah, also it felt, did you kind of feel like the presentation was a little stale? I don't know. Like last time I remember it being like this natural setting and like no forced laughter, and it just felt like, wow, look at this cool stuff this like group of kind of hackers are building. And this one felt, it kind of like felt a little bit more like a Microsoft or a Google presentation.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So a lot of people are just like in chat, just roasting these people.
Oh, are they?
but I gotta say. So first of all, I mean, some of them have presentation skills. A lot of them seem to be like they're just the researchers. They're the nerds that make the stuff. They're like the computer people.
And I do appreciate that. I mean, it's cool they're putting those people out there. So I don't want to hate on them, but it just felt like maybe just forget the live audience and the the forced banter, little comments.
That's I think the key. Like if you want to have nerds on there, have nerds on there, but don't try to combine like the live action with like that's where it gets cringy. Like, what I mean? Maybe have like the hype people come out and they give the presentation, the audience claps, right? And then
there's no way if we walked into their audience, they're all wearing sweater vests tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just no way.
Yeah. But then, you let the audience leave, you turn the lights down a little bit, you know what I mean? You get all the technical people in, and you have like a more quiet stream, you know what I mean? I think that would be good.
But yeah.
So looks like, I am testing, the playground has GPT-5. So we are in, even though I don't have it in ChatGPT yet. So
are you sharing the right screen?
No. I'll go there in a second. Let me just set this thing up. And but the other thing that I've noticed, people pointed this out. So the Cursor founder was there, even though they purchased Windsurf. Cursor was there, which I guess makes sense. You want like a third party kind of talking about it. But I saw Theo posted a video. Hey, Fat J. So he's pretty hyped. He's legitimately blown away by it. It sounds like he had early access, so he was able to test it out. And I mean, I didn't see it because it was posted during the live stream, but it seems like he's pretty excited. So
I definitely would have been excited if I was that financial firm using GPT-5 before everybody else.
Yeah.
So I was like, wow, that must be nice. Call up Sam and be like, hey, can I use that new model no one else has access to real quick to look at the financial markets, make some decisions?
Absolutely. Yeah. And And so for people that haven't tried Cursor because of the cost, you know what I mean? Sounds like he said for the next couple of days, GPT-5 is free to all, and it's the default to all new users, right? So that's pretty cool. All right, give me 1 second here to set up the playground, and we can start testing this thing out.
You know what? I think I'm gonna get Cursor and just play with it. I'd be sort of curious what I could code up. I've had I've really enjoyed using like artifacts to just make little games and little things just to see like where the capabilities are, especially just trying to simulate similar like to old Atari games, and it's done a pretty good job. But when I start to ask for updates, like change this, like make it a new like make it play a little bit different, it just always falls apart. But with this layer of meta learning on top of the way that it's writing code, I'm wondering if maybe this time I can start to actually get further along after that initial prompt. So I am kind of excited to see what this is all going to be like.
Yeah, my issue was, so I tried creating a game for the vibe coding contest, and I created something where you kind of go through a sequence of enemies, and I was making visual sort of art using Midjourney. And the initial bare bones, I mean, it looked great, right? Because you had your character and it kind of like progresses slowly. It's like an idle game. So it's sort of you're updating it, and it was fighting enemies. It looked phenomenal. But, and this is something that's been coming up more and more. And it's funny because Google DeepMind recently talked about this. Sai-Ho, the person that beat that internal OpenAI model at the Coders World Championship, he mentioned it.
The only human left, yeah,
the last human. That's right. You know, they mentioned that the issue that these things have sometimes is it will scrap everything that it's built in order to just, because it's just like, oh, okay, like there's this one new idea that I have. It has that shiny object syndrome, so it will like completely destroy everything and just completely rewrite the whole database, because it thought of like a new approach or something like that. So there's a little bit of an inconsistency there, and that's what I ran into. So that's why I was trying to get the people that post, you know, oh, I built this video game with Grok or Gemini, the ones that are really like fleshed out. Like, okay, how do they sort of get to that medium part? Because that's where things slowly start falling apart. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I did a quick demo on this concept for a diffusion-based desktop model. Have you seen? I wish I could remember the name of it right now, but yeah, it's fascinating because it's just diffusion, right? So it's like the kind of models where there isn't really a desktop, but you can click. They're interactive. You can click on a folder. You can open it up. It looks like Linux, kind of, but it's not really anything. It's just trained on millions of hours of Linux screenshots. So if you could somehow get to a place where you could just diffuse like images and interfaces and UI into existence, but then it would know when to call tools based on how you clicked on things, that might be where this all ends up instead of actually like building out UIs. But I mean, that would be wild because you can hallucinate folders you don't own and things, but maybe at some level of accuracy. But yeah, I don't know. It's just, yeah, Midjourney. Yeah, so you're still using Midjourney occasionally?
I love Midjourney. Midjourney is one of my favorites, and they have their new. Have you seen their new video stuff?
I need to jump back in there. I think, yeah. I mean, I've been keeping up on Runway and stuff, but yeah, what have they been launching?
I mean, their video generation thing is incredible because whatever you can make in Midjourney, they'll just make a video out of it, and so far it's been looking absolutely phenomenal. So,
this might date me a little bit. Do you still use it through Discord, or do they end up building a whole interface for it?
No, they built out a whole website and stuff like that. I mean, yeah,
that's how I used to do it.
Yeah, it was hit and miss, I feel like, right? So I'm trying to run something in the playground. So give me a quick second because I'm having some
take your time.
issues. Well, what's happening is it seems like it's thinking for a really long time. Is that just how it's supposed to be?
I mean, it did seem like during the demos they waited quite a while, and you notice when they did the game, they just pre-built that because they didn't want us to sit through that. So it's doing a lot of thinking. I mean, you could see it looking at its own errors and output and trying to figure out what the solutions to those bugs were. So I do think if you're coding, you got to be ready to wait a few minutes for some of these prompts.
Yeah, I wish I could see what it's sort of thinking, some sort of a summary of its thoughts as it's going along. But
And you're using the Playground interface?
yeah, I'm using the Playground interface. Carl P is saying, you talked about Twitter account that talks about AI writing, compare the models and words that all the AIs use. Yeah, so his name is Sam Payer, Paer, and EQ Bench. So like emotion, or yeah, I think it's called EQ Bench is his thing. So,
because at one point she was saying that what it wrote, I think, was it the poem or the eulogy to the other models, which was kind of fun. She said it was beautiful and more human. Did you feel that way also? I had trouble judging if it was any better than something I would have got out of 4.
yeah, I wasn't sure. I'm not sure if it was better or not. I didn't really, to be honest. Like I think I was looking at the at some of the other benchmarks.
Yeah.
So I
because it's sort of subjective anyway, so it's kind of hard to say that it's like that much more human. I guess really got to sit down and talk with 5 in a more personal way and just see what it feels like when it's fixing emails and I'm chatting about life and see if it really does seem like it's got a personality. But I do like the idea that they added the different personalities. I mean, it's kind of fun. Like people love going in unhinged mode on Grok. So I wonder if there'll be something that's it sounds like a sarcastic model is on its way, but I wonder how far they're going to let it go for the different personalities.
Yeah, the Playground is a little bit difficult to. Yeah, the Playground is a little bit difficult to use. I wish they put it into ChatGPT. Hopefully, we'll get it soon. But
yeah, it's not showing up for me yet either. I have the $200 model too, so it's not there.
Oh, actually, here we go. I got the output as like how I wanted. Let me see. Let me see if I can do this. All right. I haven't used the OpenAI, what's it called, Playground for a while, so it's a little bit different. It's a little bit different now.
It's definitely more technical. What are you trying to do? Bernoulli effect stuff?
Okay, so let me share this prompt and we can check it out. So screen, and I guess let me share my entire screen. And we're not going to need any of the video or any of the sound. So, okay, so here's what I did. So this is GPT-5. And so I asked it to create a lunar landing game. And so I gave it some things like make it the game slow, it's low gravity, make sure we have the moon and the stars, moon texture, and you can look around with the mouse. And so the goal is to land it, right? So here's what it did first shot, no modifications.
Wow.
I mean, I gotta say, that's not bad, right?
No, it's got much more depth and maneuverability than I would have expected.
Oh, so look at that. So I'm pushing space to use thrust. We have a certain amount of fuel that's running out. It's showing me the altitude and the speed.
Oh, you're down to 91% fuel. You got to make some decisions.
Oh yeah. Oh, so look at that. So that's like follow cam. So right off the bat, just first prompt, you guys, this is the best coding model that I've tried. Again, just judging based on one prompt. I better start slowing down here. Okay, so
space is your thrust bar. Okay, so you're thrusting with the space bar and then you're pinch zooming in. Yeah, I mean, God, that seems like so much to code up, That's really impressive.
Yes. So, oh wow, I'm almost out of fuel here. Yeah. So because I've been testing it with this prompt, so I've tested GPT OSS. I've been testing the various other ones. This out of the box is the best one.
Can you try
Unfortunately,
making a
I'm not able.
modification to it? See how
Yeah, but I just want to
maybe
see
add like a rover you could drive or something.
hard landing. Okay,
Oh, impact speed.
but I mean, the amount of efforts and detail and stuff that I put in here is kind of impressive.
Yeah,
So
I am really impressed. Wow. I mean, yeah, it seems like it's keeping track of the metrics, like the physics of it seem super impressive for, not specifying too much about any of that.
effort, for some reason, some of these, like the ability to change the effort disappears. This is okay. This is what I'm talking about. So I think it messed up the formatting here. So the text got the code got garbled up. But let me try something else. Let's see. Let's try that. And let's do modification. So let's see. This is our moon landing game.
Oh yeah, Earth to the sky. It's a good move. I just saw a TikTok that had the showed how many satellites there are in space, and you wouldn't believe how many like Earth has launched in the last 3 years. There was only like 2,000
yeah.
satellites, and then all of a sudden, like 5,000 more showed up.
That's crazy.
I know.
Yeah, when you realize how much there's of just stuff is up there floating.
Yeah, we're really like it's really quite impressive how much. I mean, I didn't realize there's like dozens of launches every single week, and everybody's launching satellites all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe we'll add those to your simulation next. Make it accurate. Be like, make it accurate to the real. Go find satellite data.
Yeah. Let's see. So how do I do a new prompt? There we go. Whoops. Yeah, unfortunately, also multiple times now, their various pages crashed. I think there's just so much interest in this stuff that some of it is crashing.
Yeah, I would not be surprised. Man, I wonder do you have any sense of how many parameters you think GPT-5 was? Have you read anything about what people think the effort was to put into it?
So I'm not sure about it because they have 3 different ones. So I have no idea what
the biggest
levels were. One thing that I noticed is they were saying that the GPT OSS, the 20 billion parameter model, was trained for under $500,000. I think that was the rumor. So, I mean, seems, and Emad Mustak is saying that, can you imagine if next year by this time, or by 2027, it'll cost less than 100,000 to train something like the big open source model?
Yeah, well, especially if you can, you can get efficient data from bigger models using synthetic data. You're learning from the same architecture. You're getting better results from the same GPUs because you're making improvements there. Yeah, it's going to get cheap. It's going to be very powerful models, very cheap, very soon. I mean, running local is good. It's going to be wild when you just have something where you're just not even on the internet and it's just all looking through your own. So one of the things that did cross my mind is I thought it was cool that they're going to integrate next week the calendar and the email. But I was also thinking to myself, gosh, every email it's in my inbox. I mean, I guess Gemini kind of is anyway, but it does seem like you'd have to dump your entire email history, every contact you've had, every personal conversation into that just for it to be able to schedule a few things on your calendar. So I wasn't quite sure if I might have a business account I would connect it to, but I'm not quite sure I would use it personally yet until I have a little more trust in it.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, same thing with the browsing, like Comet and the operator. Kayat is saying that the numbers might have been wrong because Opus 4.1. So what did Opus 4.1 get in Sweetbench? Because I saw the leaderboard, they didn't have that on there yet because that came out, what, 2 days ago? So what did Opus 4.1 get in Sweetbench? So let's see.
74.5.
Is that right?
That's what they're showing on, and yeah, Anthropic's
74.5. Okay, so
yeah, that's what they're showing on the Cloud Opus 4.1.
interesting. Okay.
Yeah. What else did they? 78% on the high school math competition. 77 on visual reasoning. And then they had their, yeah, the Tau, they do have the Tau benchmark for 4.1. So they broke it into retail and airline. Not really sure why, but yeah, 82 for retail and 56 for airline. Agentic tool use Tau benchmark.
And the other thing they really made sure everybody noticed was the health aspect of it, right? So apparently it's really good for health-related questions. Health bench apparently is something that they're showcasing here.
Yeah, what did you think? What do you think about health, especially after we did the Julia McCoy interview and you kind of heard how she was doing so much with her health through AI? I mean, did you feel like that was pretty impressive when the woman who got diagnosed with cancer was able to kind of understand how to make decisions about her life?
Yeah, that was incredible. Yeah, Julia McCoy was in chat earlier, so Julia, thanks for stopping by. I'm not sure if she's still in here, but yeah, she used it to get better in a lot of ways. Did it for research, so it'd be interesting to get her opinion. Like, is this going to be that much better? You know, and then I mean, I've been using stuff like O3 Pro to do a lot of research in various things that are health related, supplements, all that stuff. And I gotta say, it's very good. It gives me actionable advice and really good research. But here they're saying that this is not just better research. It's better able to put that information into something useful that the patient can use.
How much? So I'm not super familiar with Health Bench, but do you understand what kind of questions it asks? Is it more about like putting health charts together? Or we can look into it.
So here's Health Bench. So apparently, is this OpenAI's thing? It sounds like it's OpenAI's thing.
Yeah, it looks like they might have even put that. So indicators of physician's judgment.
Somebody saying this Dr. Julia McCoy to you, buddy. That's right.
Oh yeah. Don't forget Star Trek.
Yeah, and so it's unsaturated, which is interesting. So it's still climbing the leaderboards. So it's clear and concise answers. That's the one thing is when you're talking to doctors, oftentimes, not everybody, but oftentimes they'll use sort of words that are like very complicated, and it can be explained much easier.
For sure.
And like if you know the word, then you get what they're saying. But it's stuff like like as simple as like titrate. You know what I mean? A lot of doctors will be like titrate. I mean, it's like if you don't know what that word means, you're like, I don't know what that means. Titrate just means we'll start you at a low dose, then increase it, right? But
for sure,
you know what I mean?
For
so
sure.
Yeah, and it's simple things like that where as long as you understand 100% of the words they're using, you hopefully understand what they're saying, but tiny tweaks here and there can really amplify how well you're able to communicate with medical professionals.
And part of me even thinks maybe they should keep it kind of technical on their end, and then I'll go home with a transcript or I'll go home with some documentation and really sit down with it and ask a bunch of questions and try to make connections myself, because I'm never going to be in the doctor's office just kind of wasting their time with all of that. What do you think about this? Like, how would I interpret that? What does it mean in layman's terms?
Yeah.
Go research some other stuff. What else should I know about? Can you read this and then put it together? We have to do that on our own. And tools like this will help. It's just not going to be, unless you're just a multimillionaire and can just hire a doctor to sit with you all day.
Yeah, and I mean, this is great. I mean, this whole technology is really good for health, education, just bringing it to everyone. That's definitely a huge thing. Let's see. Let me check on this thing.
On a hard landing.
Well, so I did a few different ones. Let's see, 3D moon landing, and then something else. Oh, this one. Let's see if this is going to work.
Yeah, it was interesting. Even using cursor, how they had to like open up a port and go over there and like go to the port and make sure it like played the product. Like it really does need to be built into the cursor IDE if you want it to be truly for everyone.
I can't wait till stuff like Operator can just open stuff up and run it and look at the screen like a human being would.
To operate like the last like kind of aha moment I had besides probably VO3 was like that when I saw Operator just opening up a browser. Okay, this looks like pretty cool. You're going through a whole city now. You got your drone.
This is great. I mean, it's dark. It's dark, so that's definitely the first
it's
thing.
moody. It looks awesome.
Moody. Oh boy.
No.
Okay. Oh wow. It actually has like obstacle. What is it called? Like clipping. No clip. You can't go through buildings.
Oh, you thought you would just go through it? Yeah.
A lot of times when those are cars, that car looks like a car. How do I turn? Oh, I get it. Hey, this is not bad.
No, this is awesome.
That's one shot. That's
collision detection. Wow.
Overview view. Overhead view.
Yeah, just giving you a chance to look down on the city, going satellite view basically. What?
This is a first person view. This is great.
No, imagine if you had 10 friends in here. This is like got Minecrafty vibes. I like it.
Yeah. Okay, I'm impressed. I am kind of impressed.
And imagine a couple more prompts where you're just like, I want to make this multiplayer, like figure out a way to connect over a server and then give me a link to send to my friend. Boom, you and your friends are playing some game nobody's ever played before. Your entire world. I mean, think of the creativity kids would have interacting like that. And then of course throw in a VR headset and oh my God, game over.
Yeah. Okay. But everybody in chat seeing this, I mean, this seems like a step forward, right? Triple Pampit. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing. Thank you for the super chat. We get GTA 6 through GPT-5 before we get GTA 6. That's very, very possible. Speaking of GTA, I'm going to create a GTA-like game. Let me try that.
Yeah, man. Like all those memes. We might prompt 7 into existence before 6 comes out.
Yeah. I am pretty impressed with its one-shot ability so far. That seems kind of good.
Yeah. I really did.
What's your favorite game?
Favorite game? Last game. I mean, I don't know. The Switch. I saw the Switch too. Like the new Mario Kart looked pretty fun. I haven't really sat down to play games for a long time. I watched like almost 2 hours of Minecraft. It felt like yesterday while I was cleaning. So I think I just watch other people play. I'm like more the Twitch guy. Dude, this one guy had a video last night where he had 1,000 Minecraft players and he separated them into 2 islands and had them battle each other. And then not even battle, just survive. But everybody turned into factions and started, teaming up and leaders emerged and were betrayed. It was like Game of Thrones, but in Minecraft.
That's pretty cool. My favorite studies with AI were done using Minecraft. There was one of them where they hooked up a bunch of them to try to cooperate and progress in the game and stuff like that. It was hilarious because they would have to talk about it. It would be chatbots, right? So they would have to talk about it and then go and like execute their things. It was hilarious because one of them kept forgetting what they were supposed to do, and the other 3 would be like, "Hey, no, Bob, we're chopping wood. This is what we're doing." Bob's like, "Oh, okay." Yeah, and then it's like, and then like I was reading through that paper, and then at some point, like I was like wrapping up, and I checked the, at the end, they're like, here's some issues we encountered. At some point, Lisa, chatbot number 3 set fire to the nearby village. She didn't have enough paper or something, so she decided to just like raid the village, destroy everybody, set fire to it. So they're like, we think this was a fluke, let's not worry about it.
Like, don't worry, that could happen.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, the greatest video game I think that's ever been made is this game called Soma. It's kind of an indie developer, maybe 5-6 years ago, but it deals with the most interesting concepts of consciousness and robotics and what potentially it's like to have a universe with super intelligence. It's
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever heard of Soma before, but it was
sounds
such a
so
mind
familiar.
bender.
I don't think I've played it, but it sounds really familiar.
It was great. I thought it did more than any movie to like just get inside my head and make me think about what I am and everything.
Yeah. Angry Birds, people are saying. So people are saying it's out, but the thing is, it's usually rolls out to people on their own sort of.
Oh yeah,
time,
maybe
because,
some
I'm
people are more privileged than others. Let me check mine, see if it's shown up yet.
I mean, to me, it seems random in terms of sometimes I'll be one of the first ones to get it, sometimes not. So let me log in, log out.
Nothing
Maybe
for
that'll
me
help.
still. Nothing for me
ChatGPT,
yet.
GPT-5 is live. Everybody's saying. Well, some people are saying.
What? Hey, they could share some, I don't know, thoughts or prompts. Can I like reset? Maybe I'll like re-log in or something. It sounds like the API comes in those 3 versions too, the 5 mini and the nano. So that'll be kind of based on your pricing. Did you see that one comment? Somebody wrote a comment that said, Greg, blink 3 times fast if you're being held prisoner. I thought that was hilarious. I was like, if GPT-5 already has taken over your life.
Yeah.
I was like, let us know if you're trapped, if you're blackmailed.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm trying to see if. Give me 1 second here. So I'm trying to see if maybe some of my other accounts have it.
You excited about the
Let's see.
possibility of changing colors of your background during chats?
I mean, that was the big announcement, right? That was the thing we've been all waiting for.
I think that's
Yeah.
like probably the terrible update too. Like, I do not need someone like sending me a yellow background with white text. I'm like, get out of here. Like, I don't even need that tool. My life was better without that freedom.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not seeing it yet, but and I have like the top one, whatever the expensive one is. Would be nice if they. Mhm.
I was just thinking, like, what do you think it would have been like to see Steve Jobs present GPT-5? It would have been. I feel like there would have just been such a different vibe to how it all came out, even if it was incremental. I think I would have just felt different about it.
Yeah. I mean, he would have definitely. I mean, Sam is kind of like Steve Jobs of nowadays in some ways, right?
Yeah. Well, definitely in a lot of real world ways in terms of the company he's running and the way he's changing the world. But presentation wise, no.
That's true.
I mean, even Elon can't really do it. Like I've seen him obviously stand on stage and present some Tesla stuff, but Steve Jobs had a different way to, like, the reality distortion field where we would have all walked away saying this was like such a game changer. And everyone in the world needs to get on it now because the world will never be the same.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is Midjourney. So basically, whatever thing you can create in Midjourney, you can animate it. And here is Midjourney can really create certain. For me, the aesthetics is what really sells me on Midjourney. So the fact that you can now animate it, make it into AI video, that's to me the appeal. So if you're trying to create something
Oh, what happened to the stream? Oh my gosh. I don't know. Let's see what's happening. So I lost Wes. It's a pretty good chance I'm not streaming now, but if I am the only person on his channel, I feel bad for you.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay. Was I the only one on your channel for a minute? I was like, oh.
Yeah. I'm not sure what happened. Yeah, so it said Riverside said their internal server disconnected, but you were still on. So
Okay,
sorry about
yeah.
that.
Don't worry, I
Yeah.
entertained him. It was good.
Yeah, people are saying Dylan carried the show. Yeah, all right, awesome.
It's a great 5 minutes. All those jokes you asked for at the beginning, I just laid those out, but I can't repeat them now, so don't worry. But yeah, like I saw you had Midjourney up, and you were showing how like the tool was kind of able to do video. So that crayon drawing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird. I guess my network is kind of slow, but I've never had issues with what's it called? OBS, streaming with OBS. So I'm not sure why all of a sudden, we're having issues with that. It's formatting these things so weirdly, so it's gonna be difficult to do that. Let's see, is this better? Oh. Okay. So I haven't used this in a while, so I'm not sure why it's clicking back and forth. I guess okay, I get it now.
Yeah. No worries.
Sorry,
yeah.
I'm sure people that have used Playground consistently are like, what are you doing?
Oh, yeah. It's story of everyone's life. Anytime you're clicking around on your computer filming yourself, it's always stressful.
Live streams
if
are
I
the
did
worst.
it. Yeah, oh, for sure. If I did a regular typing test and then they also did like typing test while someone's like you're trying to show your friend something, it would just be completely different typing speeds. I'd be like, oh yeah, God, look at those errors go up. Well, have you ever read any of the psychology that we really don't multitask? Whoa, what is this? You made this? This fish?
Yes. So this, we can feed them. Look at that.
Oh my
so
gosh,
this is
look at you,
HTML.
little digital fish tank.
Yeah. So this
that's
is
very
one of the better
cool.
ones that I've seen. You're able to feed them.
So you ran the same prompt on other models before?
Yeah, well, yesterday I was testing O3 versus the GPT OSS 120. And so I'm just redoing some of the same prompts here. I mean, this is basic this is basic HTML, so it's better, but there's not a massive difference. But the other ones, the 3D ones that we just did, I mean, much, much better, right?
Wow.
Huge improvement.
Yeah, those fish were like stressing out until they got their food. But yeah, I was saying before that came out, like, there's some theories that we don't really multitask at all. Humans can only do one thing at a time. We just jump back and forth when we're multitasking.
Oh yeah, I bet. Yeah,
I feel like that's how it is.
They had some tests where they had people take some exam, and some of them, you had the control group, then you had the people that drank before, then people that smoked pot before it, right? So they had one
really?
that would get
Hilarious.
one group would get interrupted with text messages, simple ones where you just had to answer like yes or no. So it's not like you had to like really think about it. It was just every few minutes you get interrupted. And they performed worse than the drunk and the stoner group.
Really? Oh
yeah.
my gosh, I could believe that.
I would believe it. Yeah.
Dude, like last night, I was trying to figure out what time if the Burger King was still open on my Tesla, and I kept like looking over at the screen, just being like, it's got to say somewhere on this navigation system if they're open or if they close at 1 a.m. or not. And it just started beeping at me. It was like, pay attention to the road. I'm like, I'm sorry, I needed that. Can't just be looking whether or not Burger King's open and driving off the road, Get out of here. Yeah, I gotta. There's a thing called the Pomodoro effect too, or Pomodoro technique for getting more things done. I don't know much about it, but that's like on my list of things to one day like look into. But I guess that somehow kind of keeps your focus for the right amount of time before you start to get distracted and then you break properly.
Yeah, I got to start doing that too.
They have like little devices you can buy. They're like little timers. And you just like click it and you're like, I do one thing until I hear that buzzer.
So one thing that I was thinking about earlier is that the fact that people can now, it's a lot more possible to create your own little apps. So this idea that instead of like buying some software as a service or some software, I've been every once in a while just using these chatbots to create certain little software that I needed that is just for simple tasks. So actually, speaking of the Pomodoro website that helps users use Pomodoro, yeah, techniques.
Ooh,
to
yeah, yeah.
improve.
Let's just build the app right now. Good thinking. Gosh, I forget how free it is when you have coding AI at your disposal. Man, you know, it's a crazy thought you had too, because if mini games and all these things are so easy to build, I guess platforms like Steam will eventually become platforms like Instagram, where you just a lot of people build profiles and they just make games at will. You know, it's not a big thing where you have to have a skilled dev team. You just have people with ideas for games, and that marketplace is going to get crazy big.
Yeah. And I think a lot of it is going to be more focused. Because if you think about it, like what happens when everybody can create, when there's no there's no skill barrier, there's no money barrier. Like really, what does it come down to? I mean, number one is taste. That's what's his name? The vibe coder.
Yeah. You were telling me all about him. He's like, they pay me for my taste. I don't have any. I don't have the skill. Yeah, and
Well,
he's
I'm
right.
not blanking
Yeah.
on it. But yeah, I mean, if you have great taste, you're able to sort of pick out the best things. And then on top of that, I think it also like distribution, right? So somebody with an ability to get the word out there is probably going to do very, very well.
Yeah, someone somebody else listens to. Yeah, I guess that's why everybody. I mean, now that we have these AI tools, I guess one thing everybody should be thinking about is building their own personal brand in some way. Trying to use the models to make graphics, to make content, try to carve a niche into something. Even just sharing their expertise. I guess I think it was Dorkesh who was doing a podcast with some people who just they were on Stack Overflow, I think, and they just had answered like tons and tons of really hard to answer questions, and they were so fascinating to listen to. I was like, man, I can imagine every company in the world is dying to hire you after this podcast, because you know, like you've shown such a level of insight into thoughtful problems that, of course, most people don't care about, but just to know you have that ability is so unique.
What's sorry, chat. So what's been happening? I apologize if I'm trying to read chat, but also I'm trying to do
Oh yeah,
talk and do this.
that's one part. I'll help you with that. Let me go over to the chat.
Oh yeah, are we missing anything? So people are saying that it's like it's rolling out, it's live. It's live in Cursor. Okay, let me see. Okay. Yes. Okay, that's actually might be better.
Oh
Thank you for
yeah,
that.
good way to test it. Nice.
Because here it's a little bit funky. You got to set the max tokens. You got to do this, that. Like, I don't mind, but I wish if I knew I was using this, I'd spend 10 minutes before like messing around with it just so I know.
Yeah, I'm surprised they don't build the playground into something like maybe that's what Windsurf was supposed to be. Replacement for the playground.
So this is interesting. So they have like a little thing that uses AI to write out the developer message. So I got to play around with this because this was definitely interesting. So, but Cursor.
What's the Polymarket thing? That's a place where people bet on what's going to happen, right?
Yeah.
And it says reacting to GPT-5 release as LOL.
Oh, but what was the actual bet that they made?
I don't know. Let me go see. I'll go to Polymarket. I don't come here very much, so let me see. Let's see what's going on with 5.
So Sahil P saying, Wes, use AI filter comments to filter comments and let it bring you only the best ones. So actually, here's something interesting that I was thinking about. And Dylan, I'm curious what you think about this. Is that a good idea? because here's why. While it's so difficult to keep up with all the chat and the messages and whatever, since you're getting them unfiltered, there's a little bit more sort of randomness in terms of that you get to potentially talk to more people. You know what I mean? Like if it's filtering you.
Yeah, I like the because who do we? Well, I mean, I guess it depends on how good the AI filter is, but I like those random comments sometimes. Of
Yeah.
things that everyone else wants to throw away. I'm like, yeah, you're my guy. I gotcha.
Haley saying, Wes, what do you do in GTA? Heist, hit pedestrians with your car. You know what? Once I got done with the mission and it was kind of, like the storyline or whatever, you know what I would do? I would find one of those super bikes. And specifically, like, I think I would, like, either if it was like raining and nighttime was my favorite, or you can actually type in some stuff to make it nighttime and make it rain. And just first person motorcycle driving, nighttime in the rain in GTA, I guess 4. That was the latest one. That was like my favorite thing to do. Just vibe biking, I guess. Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. Polymarket has all sorts of interesting things, like the OpenAI browser announcement. That one didn't happen. That's a good point. I think I would have thought 40% over humanity's last exam. Didn't get that one. OpenAI becomes for profit in 2025, 56% chance.
Can GPT-5 help me make a half man, half monkey type creature? Why?
Yeah, of course, dude. Half monkey, half man.
Yes, but why? I'm very curious.
That's none of our business. Some people just need half monkey, half men things,
For
we just help
use.
them achieve their goals. It's not on us to judge.
We don't ask questions.
For like, what's that? I saw a new website today that was making like AI 3D models, and they were pretty amazing. Do you have a place you go to right now for 3D, like
Not
if
really.
you wanted to generate something?
I guess I haven't really been using anything like that, so I don't. But no, I have no idea. But those seem to be getting better, right?
How do you don't have any virtual Labubus?
Sorry, what was that word?
Labubus? You don't have any virtual ones?
What is that?
You don't know what that is at all? You've literally never heard of it.
Labubus?
Oh, actually, I don't even want to. It would be insulting to even explain it to you. Like, I shouldn't. I wish I didn't know. I'm like envious that.
Chat, how many people know what he's talking about? I'm curious. Is it just me, or is
No, I guarantee that they might all dislike them, but they all know of them. Labubus they're just like a fad right now. They're a toy, but it's crazy because they're building, it's that whole like scarcity thing. Like they build these entire stores in high-end malls, and you walk in and they won't sell you one. And then they tell you to go online, and then when the drop happens, the first 500 get them, and they're in question mark boxes, and you don't know what you're getting. I don't know. There was here in Vegas, they had a rave last night, and you could only attend the rave if you had a Labubu. So it's big news.
Okay. I guess I understand the concept. I've heard the concept, but this is like the latest peak craze, right?
Yeah, it's completely out of control though. It's like I see them everywhere now. Yeah, real life NFTs. That's a good way to put it. But yeah, I only have virtual Labubus because I'm not going to pay for that.
All right, let me see. So I got cursor up. Let me set it up really fast, and but it's different now in cursor. How do you get to see which model it is? Because so by default it's an auto or agent, right? And and you can set the model. Okay, I see it. Okay.
Have you built stuff with Cursor before?
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Give me a second, you guys. I will set this up and we can try it out in there.
Oh, they're asking me. Yeah, it's just one of them virtual. Just like just make it with AI, like generating something with Midjourney, but you just do it in 3D.
Oh yeah, I mean that's pretty cool.
Feel the AGI in your body. What's this? Have you guys experienced? Oh, I lost it. Tell it to analyze your user profile and your matrix and percentile range. Yeah, I did an experiment in my last video where I haven't released this one yet. I'm still editing it, but I had ChatGPT ask me 10 questions about myself that even I wouldn't know the answer to.
Oh,
and it was a pretty great interaction. But to do that again in GPT-5 would be something I'd be really curious to do. See if I could feel that insight even more. I'll have to do that once I get access.
Okay, so I'm upgrading to Pro so we can specify that we're using GPT-5.
Oh no, this guy's Microsoft stock suggests GPT-5 hasn't been released yet or it's garbage. Oh, is Microsoft stock going down right now?
Let's see. 1% down today, I guess. 3% in the last 5 days. Is that really a GPT-5 thing?
Yeah, it's hard to think about how connected do you feel like the two companies are? I mean, do you feel like when you're investing in Microsoft, you're really aligning your profits with the success of OpenAI? Or do you feel
Not
like
really.
Sam Altman's done a pretty good job pulling it away?
Yeah, I feel like initially that was the case, right? It seemed to be that way, but then now I just don't feel like I'm not really feeling that, right?
So you think of like Mustafa Sullivan as like the Microsoft leader, kind of, and as sort of in competition with Sam?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, I think he was like yelling at Mir Murati to get him whatever information that he needed, and it was just not being given to him about reasoning. So I don't know. It feels like Microsoft might kind of get the bad end of this deal, but I don't really focus on that sort of commercial whatever stuff, so I'm not super interested. The SVIC guys, they focus on it. I think that would be a good probably question to ask them. So
yeah, me neither. I don't really have like I don't really have stock in any of those companies that would help me. I mean, I feel like they're all going to become multi-trillion-dollar companies. I probably should, but I just don't think about it in terms of the money in that sense very much. I like it more from the idea of like the moment in history in billions of years when a species naturally became smart enough to then understand intelligence and build it and like, yeah, I mean, harness intelligence. That's the crazy thing that keeps me going. And you know, I saw a comment yesterday that was saying, you know, it's entirely possible that if there is like a creator like that created the simulation that we're in, they could very well be of lesser intelligence. Because if we're building these systems like GPT-5 and we're just individuals that aren't as smart as the system itself, it's like, what if we're inside a simulation that has even dumber people who put it together and they're just watching how this all plays out for us? I was like,
that's interesting.
Yeah, I was like, oh, maybe I always think of like some super smart knows everything out there somewhere, and I was like, oh wait, maybe what if they're dumb and like this whole thing is way more complicated than they can understand.
I've never heard that explanation before, but that's interesting. So it's something to think about. So wait, but sorry, did I miss it? How would they have created something like this without knowing?
Because they have some sort of Elon Musk on there, and it's just like scale it, just scale, and we'll see what emerges.
Right.
But they don't really know. Like we don't really know. Like one person can compete with GPT-5 on all knowledge subjects at this point, and then just scale that up.
They're just watching this, getting their minds blown. Like, how do they do all of this?
Yeah, they're just like, yeah, exactly. They're just watching it, and we're like, Yep, it's the simulation's so real.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's certainly would be nice. Let's see. So I invited Gosu Coder on at some point, so I'm not sure if he's still streaming or what. If anybody sees him in chat, let me know. Curious to get his takes on it. I wonder if he's still testing it out, what he thinks, because he's got some pretty crazy prompts that he tests out on this thing. So
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
quick question for Cursor users. So, I mean, I can select the model GPT-5, it's in there. Is that what you guys generally do? Or is the agent, the outer run, is it pretty good at picking the best model? Like, how do you guys approach that? Because sometimes in the past, I would try to pick the model and I would kind of complain about it. It's like, no, just put it on auto because we'll figure out how to do it. So if for people that are Cursor experts, if I want to test out GPT-5, do I just select GPT-5 and then let it do its thing? So, yeah, in ChatGPT, I still don't have GPT-5 in there, unfortunately, but.
Yeah, pick your model and stick with it, they say.
Okay, pick the model and stick with it. Always pick the model. Okay, cool. Cool. Yeah, never auto black box is bad. Okay, gotcha. Perfect. Go with your GPT-5 until it runs out of credits. Use GPT-5 High. Yeah. So GPT-5 is the main one. And there's like GPT Fast and etc. So
yeah, especially if you're just trying to push the limits, see what it's capable of. But yeah, that planet simulation was pretty amazing. You already came up with, so
yeah, I was impressed with that one.
I mean, was that the single best generation you've ever had from a prompt in terms of like a game like that?
Oh yeah, first shot for sure. That was very interesting how quickly I was able to do it.
So like a practical real world benchmark.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to find out how much they were able to actually optimize it. Like, I wonder how heavy this thing is to run on their end.
Yeah, but now that they can like pull it back and forth as they need to, I feel like that's going to be pretty good for them in the sense that they can just kind of maybe start out really powerful and then what happened? Started out really powerful and then scale it back as needed.
Oh, what do you got here? Is this generated?
Yes. Okay. So, I see. I'm trying to share I can't share the tab. I have to share the entire screen. One sec. There we go. So yeah, it coded this thing up. First prompt, first shot, but I should probably. So this is kind of a soccer game, autonomous. As you can see here, it's got an RPG element. All the players have experience and they slowly level up over time. Something happens where it like breaks down and stops moving around. But I got to say, a lot of complexity here. Shots on goal. So yeah, at some point, just something clicks off to where they stop moving.
Yeah, they like merge together and stuff. Doesn't look like any soccer game I've played, but
yeah,
it does kind of work. I mean, it seems like it would be hard to code something like that up, even if it's not perfect.
Oh, Kyle Million. Never heard back from you, Wes, but have a good evening. Sorry, I apologize. Heard back here in chat. Let me go over my super chats here really fast. So Jason's Hub, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. So David Lindsay saying, what is both your personal definition of AGI and ASI? Death Star equals Q Star, my theory. Thank you so much, Jason Hub. I apologize, I didn't get to your thing in time. What's the Death Star? Did you look that up? I guess Sam Altman posted some Death Star thing.
No, well, I mean, I remember Q-Star, but I haven't heard anybody say that for a while. Let's see. Do some searching here. I don't know. Q-Star hypothesis, chain of. I mean, that was like chain of thought reasoning, right? That's what it ended up being. No one knew what it was.
Yeah, I think it was the Microsoft, or excuse me, it was the Stanford paper in 2022. So they had self-taught reasoner, and then quiet self-taught reasoner. So Q-Star,
Yeah.
and then that was the leak back in whenever November 2023 or whatever that was. But it sounds like, Sam Altman posted a picture of like the Death Star over the horizon of the Earth or some planet. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, and for that AGI question, I think I use Dr. Allen's chart. I think that's probably pretty good because it seems to me like we have AGI. I feel like it's generally better than me at everything, but since it's constrained into a chat format, I can't really claim like, oh, this is just generally intelligent. But it's a modality problem more so than it is like a intelligence problem. So I just think it's about waiting until it's a little more percolated into the world around me. Like when I see cars and like when I talk to Grok inside my Tesla and just say, take me, to the Burger King if it's open, and it checks to see if it's open at 1 a.m. and then also takes me there. I'm gonna probably be like, okay, I think we're there. I understand like maybe my faucet doesn't have the ability to talk to it yet in my refrigerator, but for me, it just generally communicating and having it feel very human back. But there's so many definitions you can make up for it. I accept some of the people who think that it's already here, and I accept some of the people who won't until it's just superhuman and running our government. I don't know. Where do you fall on it?
Give me 1 second. Let me put this prompt in just so it starts generating in Cursor, because it takes a while. So let me put a few in. Let's start working, and I'm going to try to create a 3D GTA clone with usable cars.
Let's involve YouTube chat with a multiplayer game. That's a cool idea. Can you do that? That might be hard.
Well, eventually. I mean, that probably not with the snap of the fingers like that, but at some point, yeah. I mean, what's his name? Peter Levels created that flying game with insane number of users.
See, what's the name of the video I saw last night? That thing was crazy. Yeah, that Minecraft game. Like I was like dreaming about it last night. I was like, how would I have? What team would I have joined if I was in that Minecraft universe?
So it was an actual Minecraft game, right?
Yeah, it was like a 2.5-hour video made from a guy who I guess paid or got 1,000 people to play Minecraft for a week, and then like documented the emergence of society. It's crazy.
Interesting. Okay, let me catch up really fast on this. So David Hamir, thank you so much for being here. Sorry, yeah, Jason, I apologize, I missed you. Earlier, Smile, this feels like 05 instead of 5. I'm waiting for Kingfall at this point. I thought Kingfall, that model you're testing, I thought that was the latest GPT or Gemini 2.5 Pro. And okay, and Tom Max, check your phone showed up before my machine got it. Okay, thank you so much, everybody. And I apologize if I missed you earlier. I was kind of like a little bit distracted with everything. But yeah, so happy that everybody was in, and hopefully you guys enjoyed everything. So we're going to keep testing this thing out. So I have some things running in the background, but and yes, sorry, Dylan, what were you saying?
Well, I was talking about that Minecraft game, but have you played with Genie 3? What were your thoughts on that?
No, it just so many things happen at the same time. That's like, I want to, I checked it out. It was incredible. I still have yet to put a video about it. I listened to Machine Learning Street Talk. They talked about, so he talked with some of actually this was from AI Explained, how he interviewed one of the people either on the team or working on something similar. And he was wondering, like, what is this useful for? So in other words, it's not going to always be accurate. So how are you going to try to, maybe if you want to do some sort of embodied agents, like, is this a good thing to train them on? Because you can't always guarantee that it's going to be accurate. And the response was, while they can't guarantee it's always going to be accurate, they can kind of see if this thing really goes off track. So if they throw like an agent into that world and it just does horrible stuff or does the wrong stuff, they'll be able to find that. So they'll be able to spot the bad outcomes. Now you can't say that.
Yeah, not refining. It's not the refining method, but you can get kind of in the ballpark really quickly.
Yeah, and if you think about it, like, as long, yeah, if you don't necessarily need it to be perfectly accurate. You can get a lot of data. Like if you take an agent and you throw him into some crazy world and he starts figuring stuff out, you're like, okay, that's good. And if he does something horrible or completely wrong, then you're like, okay, that's bad. It still gives you data. So
yeah, it's weird. Well, I mean, it seems like it has a lot of breakthroughs in memory. Like it definitely felt like if you had a house and you turned around and looked the other direction and came back, the house would stay, but it wouldn't stay that long. It's not there for an hour. But then I also was kind of thinking to myself, like, when you play a regular video game, just Mario Brothers or something, like you can go all the way back sometimes, but like who cares? Like you almost never do. Like why not just move forward, have an adventure, move forward, have an adventure? And yes, like it's technically all back there because it's programmed and not diffused into existence, but I don't know. In some cases you just play the game through once and you're done, you know? I'm like, it seems like it might work for a lot of use cases. And maybe for simulations, you're right, like to get into the ballpark, see how it acts. Does it act normal enough that you could then take it to a higher level of refinement, and like a pure physics simulator at the very end?
yeah, and it really seems like so many different companies are running towards that ability to create these worlds. I mean, it's incredible for the data. It's really good for the data, and training different things with it. I mean, I think Dr. Jim Fan was like some of the best way of presenting it, to where, like, if you think about this agent that is able to play 1,000 different video games and master every single one. So he's like, he flies a plane, he plays GTA, he, you know what I mean, whatever. Our world, to that agent that is able to generalize so effectively across 1,000 different video games, to him, this is just another video game. It's another reality. Our reality is, you know what I mean? Because he's still interacting with it through like like camera and whatever. So he's like, oh, another video game, let's go. So in that sense, that made a lot of sense to me. Like if you can generalize across all those realities, this is just another, you know, channel for him, another game. So
yeah, that's right. Because I remember that. Do you remember, if you go way back in time, when the first DeepMind Atari systems were when they, was it Q, might have been QStar also, or Q Learning, just Q Learning, when they were, this is really early in the day, but Google DeepMind was saying like, okay, play all these Atari games and try to, they were playing around back then even with what kind of reward mechanisms could make the character move correctly and actually not loop on itself and do all these things. And yeah, most games they ended up solving at a certain point, but then there was a couple games, oh god, I wish I could remember that one, but yeah, there was one game that it didn't solve. It was just too hard and it required too much like foresight and planning ahead. But if you could train a model on not just the 1,000 Atari games that exist, but the billions, millions, infinite that could be generated, the first time it plays a video game, it has seen more than any human has ever seen. It has seen more weird patterns and houses and stars and coins and interactions. Yeah, maybe it could be just superhuman. And then, yeah, you're totally right. And then it comes to our reality and it's like, yeah, I've seen stuff like this before. And we're like, this is the real thing. And it's like, yeah, I know. I've seen a lot of the variations. I'll be fine.
Yeah, but it's the real thing, but not to it, right?
Yeah, not to it.
So
it's probably the most high fidelity thing that it's seen, but it's not any more like reasonable to navigate. In fact, it'd probably be so good at solving problems, we would just be like, oh, I never thought to think outside the box that way.
So I am trying to create some of these games running. The one thing I always run into issues with So Tom Mac MC is saying open GPT-5 on phone, went to machine, it worked. Okay, let me see. Am I always like the last one? Okay, I'm not seeing it yet. But
Oh, yeah, let me check my phone. Maybe there.
yeah, it's how do we define real? What's real, right?
No, let me see. Maybe some people are posting stuff on X. Maybe I'll go check that out. No, I still don't have access either. Supposedly it's out. Why not me? Trending GPT-5 Pro. Let's see. People are posting stats.
Hey, Cole, welcome to chat. Cole Trigaski's got it. Okay, very cool. Cole, what's your impression so far? Cole is on Twitter/X talking about AI.
Cool.
Great follow.
Yeah, good to meet you.
Clara D saying Carmack is always on the right track of everything. I agree. Yeah, he's looking very beefy nowadays. He's been working out. I mean, for like a nerd of his caliber, he's kind of jacked.
Who are some of your most common commenters? Like, do you have any people who have been here for like since the very beginning that have just supported you for a long time?
Oh yeah. So I mean, Cole is in and out.
It's kind of a tough question. It's probably hard to think of them all off the top of your head. But
No,
when you
I
see
mean,
him,
no,
I'm sure you notice.
Oh yeah, totally. No, I mean, I remember certain names as they pop up, as I'm seeing them, and yeah. And I usually shout them out if I remember them and have seen them before.
Cool. I've never done a live stream before. It's my first time, so kind of I'm kind of learning from you.
Most of them were here in the beginning, and I'm not seeing them as much, which makes sense because sometimes you log in the beginning for the beginning of it, and then people slowly fall off. But at least a dozen people in the beginning I knew, at least, maybe more, maybe like
wow,
maybe like
cool.
20 people that I recognize the names of, which I always thought would be weird when you saw. Meaning, I always thought that would be hard when I was watching like the Twitch streamers that would recognize people in chat and stuff like that. I'm like, how do you memorize it? But no, after a while, you kind of remember people and specific conversations that you have, and it's pretty good.
Dude, that's so neat. Yeah, I'm gonna have to start doing more stuff like this.
It's fun. It's definitely fun. Legendary Sai Yajin saying Dylan has a great channel.
Yeah, thanks,
Agreed.
man.
Absolutely agreed. And Cole saying he's followed me for centuries. Thank you. Yes.
You should ask him, like, were any of you following Wes when he still had 100,000 subs or less? How long? How about what year was it, or how many months ago was it when you broke that?
Oh, I have no idea. I have no clue. But I mean, I started right before GPT-4 came out. So I guess that was April, 23, I think.
Wow.
So I maybe had a few right around there. Just before then, I started posting.
Yeah, well, if they subscribe to our podcast channel now, they can be in under 10 or under 20,000. Wait, under 10,000. Wait, how many do we have? What's our podcast channel? Oh yeah, under 10,000. Yeah, get in now. The Wes and Dylan podcast. Check it out on YouTube.
Get in on the ground floor. Yeah, we have whose interview we have. Oh, Matt Wolf is probably next. Julia McCoy. And I got to relaunch our podcast with news research. I published it. I don't know why. Maybe I don't know. I just like failed to launch quickly. So I think I'm going to, I want to relaunch it because like that was a very interesting, interesting conversation that should be going to more people.
Right.
Haley apparently knew me in a past life. So that's...
Oh yeah. You believe in reincarnation? She said JK. But do you sometimes think about reincarnation?
I mean, I enjoy thinking about all that stuff. I try not to sort of attach my sort of belief to it because at the end of the day, we don't know. I want to kind of keep an open mind.
Fun to think about.
But on that subject, so most people Read my last super chat, Wes. Most people, I feel like, probably you've read the Ender's Game back in the days, right? Or whenever, right?
No, but yeah, I haven't.
Oh, okay. Tom, thank you so much. Let me try that. Tom's
I
giving
know
us
there's
a.
so much sci-fi. I just started Star Trek last night in a new season. I was like, oh,
I know what you mean. I tend to listen to it nowadays on audio tape, audiobook, Audible. That's what it's called. But anyways, my point was most people, as far as I can tell, a lot of people have read Ender's Game. And I thought that was very good. And then there's also two parallel sort of storylines. One is with Bean, and it's like Ender's Shadow and all those things. And they're good. Well, I did not love them. I'm going to be honest.
oh, this comes out.
What I mean, I like the first one, and then the rest of them, I couldn't really get into it. I just didn't. I don't. Whatever. But the Ender storyline, I'm sure there's like one or two people on chat that care about this. Tell me if you care about this. The continuation of the Ender storyline is great. So the next one is Speaker for the Dead, and then Xenocide. Speaker for the Dead is terrific.
Well, you recommended The Player of Games, Ian Banks, I think, and that was really good. Like I got the audiobook, I listened to every word of it. I could imagine the entire little universe that he went to and stuff. So that was a good recommendation.
Oh, nice. So so you liked it, right?
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty great story, actually. It's really interesting. Like a lot of political stuff in there too. It made me think about it. And then you had some friend that named their dogs after the different ships or something?
I think Dr. Know-it-all said he had something like that. But the thing is, Elon named a bunch of the starships after those starships.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
It was really weird because I read that book for the first time a few years ago when this whole AI thing started. And shortly after I read it, I'm listening to a live stream of Elon where he's saying like, whatever the starship, he starts saying those starship names. I'm like, what is happening right now? Like I read a sci-fi book and Elon's now like, it was so weird to me because I didn't realize how big of a book this was for people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so SpaceX's Dragon capsule shares the name with the Culture ships. Then
Yeah.
it says Falcon, not specifically in the universe, but it was named after Elon's, Falcon Heavy. Sleek, I don't know. So yeah, some of them aren't, but that's crazy.
Okay,
That's
so
good. That's good.
1 second. That's so basically. So big thank you to Tom MC. I'm sorry if that's not how you say your name, Tom, but Tom, I appreciate it. I think you're 100% correct. So Tom, for people that maybe missed it, so he's saying, go to your app, update your app, and then join the beta, right? So do the beta thing in the app. That will get you GPT-5, which it did. So I'm there. I have it on my app now.
Ooh.
And then that is now I should be able to reset my normal thing and get it on my desktop. So we're going to be doing that.
So exciting.
Yeah, and I apologize because I know some people are a little bit frustrated because it's supposed to be a GPT-5 stream, and we're talking about, well, but you know what? If people watch my channel, this is how it is.
You gotta get to know the real Wes. Yeah.
We rarely stay on topic. So we're going to be switching over to, hopefully I'm able to get it on, in a desktop app because that's definitely going to help. But for people that are interested, so I'm trying to create a GTA clone with it. So it's doing this, but I'm still trying to figure out how to, it's not quite there. And then our little soccer game, it's working. There's a little bit some weirdness happening here, so we have to do some iterations, but from the get-go I think it's doing very, very well. So I feel like it's
Yeah, much on X, I'm seeing people like put some puzzles into GPT-5 that it's doing that wasn't possible before.
Oh, interesting. I wonder. Yeah, I wonder what the do you know what the puzzles are that it's able to do now?
Yeah, he's kind of just putting his little thing in, his little like comment on there.
Piku13, thank you so much for the super chat saying, suppose we encounter AGI. What do you suppose these interactions and prompt results would look like? What would be different? And could we even tell? Yeah, I mean, let's say we meet AGI or like some like super intelligence. Like, how would you even know? It's like we can ask it some questions, but are we even capable of determining, the intelligence of something that's smarter than us? I think it's really, at the end of the day, a lot of the stuff is like predictive ability. So if you tell it, like, I'm trying to do this, and it gives you a plan that you wouldn't have come up with, that's not obvious to you, and then you follow that plan. Yeah, you follow that plan, and it's like works perfectly, and you're like, or you tell it some data about like some people, like, oh, I'm arguing with this person, here's what's happening. Maybe they don't like me or something like that, and they're like, oh, based on what you said, they might have this personality trait, therefore blah blah blah, so here's what you should do. You go, you test it, you're like, what?
Yeah,
right? Because if you're an adult, you've lived your whole life communicating with people. If this can like that give you that little tweak that makes stuff better,
Yeah,
I feel like that's happened to me sometimes when an expert in some field just gives you that one tweak, you follow it, and just everything becomes better. And you're like, okay, that person knows what they're talking about. I feel like if we encounter something like that, you would know it's AGI or super intelligence, or whatever you wanna call
especially
it.
if it's in the realm of kind of not work. Like if you ask ChatGPT in the future, like, hey, I'm thinking about telling this girl I love her, and can you read our text messages? And it's like, no, do not do that. And you're like, you don't know, I'm going to do it. And then she's like, I never want to see you again, you're moving too fast or something. And then you'll be thrown off and be like, dang, how did it know? And it'll just know, and you'll be in awe of its ability to predict and analyze and think in aspects of your life that seem very human. Open chat case, it's AGI.
Yeah, and the thing is, yeah, that's interesting. Sorry, something about you said sparked something. Oh yeah, so yeah, imagine having like what everybody wants to do. All these big tech firms, they want us all wearing glasses, recording everything that we do and say and whatever. I mean, and people are like freaked out. They don't want to do it. But imagine at some point it starts giving you just the greatest advice in the moment based on what you're seeing. Like, what happens if it saves your life? Like don't walk across the street, or this person's about to run a red light, slow down, right, and saves your life. Or like you said, like in some communication with somebody, it tells you, oh, you've triggered this person in this weird way that you probably didn't notice. Just don't say this thing and it will be fine. You know what I mean? Like, oh, and your relationship with that person gets better. Or like you said, yeah, you text somebody and maybe you should have waited, whatever, right? Like, how many of those little events in your life would have to happen before you're like, okay, you can record me 24/7. You know what I mean?
That's a good point. You're right. We will give up privacy so fast. But yeah, because it's true. And you're at a meeting and your boss is like rewarding everyone around you because they're talking to some kind of AR system that's telling them how to exactly please the boss, and he's happy with them all and not with you. And is he going to recognize that's valuable, that other insight, or is he just going to want more profits and more attention and whatever makes him happy? So yeah, then people in the corporate world will give up on it, and then in the social world, those excelling might be doing it. Then eventually, it's hard to imagine us not living in a surveillance state. Sometimes I do think, like, should I just give in and just upload everything and just deal with it? But I don't know. I don't want to do that either. I don't feel safe or like we need more mechanisms in place, but it probably will happen eventually.
Yeah. So CKL saying, yeah, no, Wes, not trading freedom for that. Yeah, I mean, it's a tough one. It's a tough one. The thing is, for me, so to me, it's like a different thing. And Dylan, I'm curious how you think about it, because before I was very private. I didn't have a Facebook. I didn't have all this stuff. I didn't want my name out there. I didn't want, just very, very careful about all privacy, right? Then I started doing this, and all of a sudden it's like, okay, that's gone to a degree. So you start just, I guess it happens little by little. And of course, there's going to be people that don't budge and they're like, nope, I don't want to do any of this stuff. But what happens when, 10% of the people, 20, 30, 50% of the people have stuff like that? I feel like most people follow the herd on most things. Not on everything. We all have our things we stick to, but there's a lot of things where it's like, okay, everybody's doing this. I don't care that much. I'm just going to do it too. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I mean, imagine if you just want to be that guy without a cell phone. You could do it. Like, people can write you letters. You could check your mailbox if you want. You wouldn't necessarily like die or anything, but it just would be so hard to hang out with your friends and laugh, and there'll just be a lot of pressure, especially if you're younger and everyone in your school is in some sort of VR chat and your parents are like, no, we're concerned about privacy, we don't want you having one of those headsets yet. And then they'll just be like, as soon as I'm 18, I'm going to grab one and then go join all my friends. So it'll be hard to stop. But some people do it. They think still to this day, is Warren Buffett has never sent an email or something? Like,
yeah, he's
fine. Like,
he's fine.
I guess if you have extreme wealth, you can live without any of this stuff. You can just have humans translate it all. They can put on the headsets and give up their privacy and then translate for you.
Yeah. So Alkis just joined saying, is it that impressive? So I'm still trying to figure out how to run it. We've been able to run in the playground. I got to say, the few prompts that worked are, to me, very impressive. Right? Like the little drone game and the what else did we do? The other thing that we did, the 3D game, the moon landing. I don't know, man. That was kind of impressive, I gotta say.
Yeah, I think it was. I mean, it definitely seems like I guess the Codex model isn't as good as whatever the GPT-5 model is, but it definitely feels like coding was the big breakout moment. It didn't blow my mind with multimodal. It didn't do anything super unique there. It didn't say anything with operator. With health, it seems like it's kind of more intelligent and can answer questions and summarize better. But yeah, overall, it seems like coding is probably the big win here.
Yeah, and I feel like that's what everybody's focusing on to a great degree. Because I mean, how good, like if you think, like when I started testing these things, it started mainly with language. Can you answer this puzzle? Can you write this? Can you write this? But then as they got good, you reach a certain point where you're like, okay, well, what else am I going to ask it? You know what I mean? Like, what's the next? It's like those things where it kind of gets saturated. Like, how many different ways can you ask a question, whether it can answer it or not? Like, it gets to a certain point and you're like, it's done. But with coding, it's like the next frontier. Plus, coding is actual kind of automation. You can create stuff. You can create tools.
Oh yeah, you should point that out too, because it's not just that it's coding well. It had that was 75%, or one of the benchmarks was really high on. It knows when to go pick up tools,
right?
And that's super helpful because that is the bridge. Yeah, if you can automate things, now we're talking about real productivity.
Yeah, and the other big thing I think really what the labs are pushing for, why they're so interested. I mean, number one, they can monetize it very well, but number two, it's really going to help with AI research, right? So this is a big if it can do a lot of stuff, a lot of the machine learning stuff, it can run the machine learning stuff. So I feel like that's probably one of the big reasons that they're really pushing for it, because whoever gets to automated research first, that's a big deal.
Yeah, well, they commented on the loop, the training loop, right? Like it sounded like they we're kind of saying to some degree that it's not about just pre-training and then putting a model out and then giving it a new name, but this is going to be much more iterative, much more constant. GPT-5 the one we're testing today might not look much like the one next month or the month after that if they're really just feeding back on each other in a new kind of loop now.
Yeah, well, and now it's a little bit more hidden because now GPT-5 is calling its own models or whatever, so you don't even know what you're interacting with. So they could be just constantly, changing it behind the scenes. So yeah, for some reason I'm trying to. So let me, I guess, I'll show people what I'm doing in a second. So on my phone, I'm able to get GPT-5. In the browser, no. So.
Oh no. Okay, you have to like hold it up to the camera or read it to us.
Well, I'm trying to figure out if I can do the.
Oh yeah, and how are you gonna get those prompts you have in there?
I guess I gotta like email them to myself or something, but it's still not completing them here.
So you think that includes the 400K context window and everything inside the chat version?
I guess.
Probably.
I mean, yeah, we'll see, I guess, with the coding, but I would assume so.
Oh,
curious.
yeah. I'm also curious to watch because it sounds like it was displaying a lot of its meta prompting. So I think that's where it's going to be fascinating to see how it's thinking about its own thinking.
Oh yeah. And yeah, I'm wondering why Gemini is the only one with the million token context window. It's definitely beating everybody on that. Right.
What are your thoughts on the 2 million federal employees getting access to GPT-5? Did that surprise you?
I guess kind of. I just saw the headline because that was recent, right? That was within the last.
Well, I actually just heard it during the live stream today. I haven't even seen it as a headline.
Okay. That's yeah. That I that's probably where I heard it too. And maybe somebody like in chat mentioned it. I think I wasn't 100% paying attention to the to their live stream just because I was like trying to see what we're going to be talking about next and stuff like that. Yeah, that's pretty.
I mean,
impressive.
Like 6 months ago, when Elon and Trump were on really good terms, I was sure it was going to be Grok. You know, I was like, oh, I'm sure Grok will get implemented everywhere, and then I was kind of surprised to hear GPT-5 is going to be given to all federal employees for free.
Yeah.
But do you think that might make the government much more efficient?
Yeah, I mean, in a lot of ways. I mean, I'm thinking more in the long term. It's going to allow people to learn how to use it. So as the technology is getting better, it's like built in, and they have to be using it. And so, you know, fast forward a few years, you know, the government's not going to fall behind. All those people are not going to fall behind the technology because it's already like built in. Is it going to make everything better on day one? I mean, I feel like there's going to be some bumpy, you know what I mean, bumpy roads while everybody figures it out. But obviously, there's tons of stuff where it's going to make everything so much easier for reading long documents, for summarizing stuff, right? Some order comes out, right? Instead of reading it, you're like, hey, ChatGPT, what are the top 5 bullet points? It's like here, you know?
Yeah, I mean, even at some local level, DMV, where things are really kind of rough around the edges and not working well, you'd think it might make some impact. I think someone there might say, hey, I can save some time by putting this into ChatGPT, and oh, that's cool. I'll do that too.
Yeah. So in the ChatGPT app, while I have GPT-5, I asked the question. So far, I haven't seen a complete completion. It says, oh, I thought about it for 10 seconds, but it's not putting anything out. So again, it just did.
Ooh, got your first answer.
Okay, so let me see now if I can pull. Oh boy, Alkis H, thank you so much for the super chat.
Oh, if you have a Mac, right? You can do the screen sharing. You know, is it the iPhone mirroring app?
No,
you can open that up and then screen share.
I'm all Android.
Oh, okay.
For better or for worse. But okay, so here is, you guys should be seeing this is a GPT-5 output. You can't tell here because it's from my phone.
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh, whoa. I mean, that's looking pretty good. But there's a bug, so let's see if we can fix it. But, you know, just first glance, that's looking pretty good, right? I mean,
yeah.
It's got the buildings. It's definitely looking like it just does more from the very get-go. So it does more buildings, better textures. It seems like it's not as lazy, quote unquote.
You know what? I bet behind the scenes it got way better at going and picking different packages to add to its program. Like, you know, the tool switching ability. There must be something about its ability to now bring in what it needs to code better, because especially the dimensionality, like everything, and the collision detection that we found in the other app, the other drone simulator. I just don't know if you actually like write all of that from scratch, or if it just got better in bringing in the right packages.
It used to be pretty bad with these 3JS. It would always miss certain things. And so you would have to, I think a lot of people that were building stuff with it, they would almost have to figure out what to remind it to do. Like, don't forget to add this package or whatever, and then it would do it. But yeah, here it seems like it's maybe just it knows and it double checks everything or something. See, this is the issue, is like, I don't think I'm running GPT-5 in the browser, if that makes sense, but I am on my phone. So I,
Yeah, and
so
that's tricky. You're dealing with,
yeah.
with a lot. You got to copy it over and then show
Yeah.
us. And
So,
appreciate
but to
the effort.
everybody that has GPT-5 and have tested it, what do you guys think about it? If anybody can post it, how well it's going for them? And I think we're probably going to be wrapping up pretty soon here, just because, yeah, I want to be mindful of the time, and I'm still not seeing it in chat. But then we'll, I'll put up a review as soon as.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll be making a full video on it.
Yeah, I mean,
probably today, right? Are you going to make it a priority to film tonight?
I think so. Yeah. Hopefully, I get it soon. I mean, sometimes it takes a while to roll out. I've had that happen. Had that happen before with Grok. I stayed up till like 3 in the morning, I think.
Really?
One day with Grok 4. Yeah, because he started the live stream like at 9 or something like that, 8 or 9. Sahil P saying GPT-5 is insane for coding. Timur saying it's freaking amazing. I got message limited. Lil Spoogie saying I got message limited. Okay, that's good to know. I don't want to run into that issue.
Oh yeah, you see Ethan Mollick's got some really cool stuff on it.
It's in the GPT builder. Interesting.
Oh, because he had early access to it, so now he's releasing all the stuff he built with it. That's cool. Yeah, he's built some like full-on cities, just vibe coding. Ethical case. Oh yeah, somebody's arguing for Opus 4.1 better than GPT-5.
Oh, interesting. Okay. I haven't tried the 4.1 release.
You could probably do that, right? Do you have Cloud open? You could do artifacts, I guess. Do that same prompt and maybe compare the two.
Yeah, let me see if do I have a subscription to that? Let me see. I used to have the subscription, but the main Claude thing. Okay, so 4.1. Yep. Extended thinking. Yeah, so let's see if we put in the exact same prompt and see what happens.
Yeah, stylistically, GPT-5 is a vast improvement. That's good to hear. Does it still, I wonder, did you notice any of those dashes, those like AI dashes in the output?
Oh yeah, the M dashes or whatever they call them.
Yeah, M dashes. Yeah, I wonder if I got rid of those.
They're not jumping out at me as they're in. I haven't seen them, but maybe they're in there. I haven't been paying attention, but
I'll have to keep an eye out for those too. Seem like they can change the color. The two big things: change the color and get rid of those dashes. It's probably all you need. GPT-5.
But it's crazy how much better coding is getting. So it still seems like it's not quite. It's not where it's going to produce its own advanced software. You still need engineers. That's probably not going away. But I feel like it's really going to open up for a lot of non-coders. It's going to make it a lot easier to get in and start building little apps here and there and stuff like that. I'm really excited about that.
Oh no, all your commenters are saying that M dash is even more than before.
Oh boy.
Dude, in all caps, it dashes just as much, if not more.
If not
says
more.
Ben.
What is happening with that? Sean Grove, thank you so much for the super chat. Would love to your take on its creative writing. Write a novella on life as an AI commenter on YouTube in the style of Neil Stephenson. Make it tense. Make sure you're using GPT-5. That's interesting.
Yeah.
So let me share my screen here really fast. This
I like
is
Haley says she uses it to figure out who's writing an AI. Maybe that's the real trick. Maybe they added it even more. It's like so we all know.
Yeah,
Maybe that's
probably
purposeful.
why.
You're like, yeah.
So this is Claude 4.1 with extended thinking on. And yeah, so I got to say, it's looking also very, very good. I mean, it's hard to tell what's better, what's worse, but certainly
Yeah, I gotta
good.
admit, maybe, but they both handled that prompt pretty well.
Fire thrust.
And all your
Fire
keyboard commands are
thrusters.
working.
Oh, there we go. Okay. Oh, look at that. Well, it's not really
Oh,
working.
yeah, you got
the fuel.
You
The fuel
crashed.
runs down like a second. Okay, gotcha. So basically, okay. So
You got to thrust it just the right time.
just the right time, like that, and it falls. Okay, okay, okay. I got you. Okay.
You'll win.
So I gotta say, they're both good. This one is a little bit clunkier with the controls. The controls were much better on the other one, but it's hard to say that one is better than the other. I mean, just based on this one thing, I'd give a slight
No,
edge.
this is really impressive, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Claude is still contending, as good as I was raving about all those projects before. It's got to be so hard. You don't have enough fuel. How can you not crash?
Yeah, the controls are clunky on this one, but everything else, like the stars, the moon, everything is looking really good. So, sculpting 3D program. Yeah, you don't have enough fuel. Oh my God. Okay. I'm done with this. This is insane. Okay, let's maybe start wrapping up. I think we've been here
Sounds
like
good.
what, 3 hours, 3+ hours.
Yeah.
But I will attempt to, for everybody on chat, I will attempt to test things out as soon as I have it available. We have a cursor, so I'll use cursor as well to do that stuff. I'll test out the stuff with, so Roberto's saying test it out with Gemini 2.5 Pro. I'll probably do a side-by-side comparison. So I'll do 2.5 Pro, Claude 4.1, and GPT-5. So we can kind of see what the difference
I
is.
just refreshed and got it on desktop, of course.
Okay.
Do a
interesting.
quick refresh.
No, mine's still. So you just click refresh. You didn't have to log in, log out, all that stuff.
I did.
Can you tell it to do a GTA style game with 3JS? So just spelled out 3 and then.
Hang on one second. Let me.
Yeah.
It's in a different Chrome browser, so I can't share it over Riverside. Okay, what did you want?
Oh, yeah. So if you can ask it to create a GTA style game.
Okay.
With
GTA style game with
3JS, so 3 spelled out, and then JS like JavaScript.
Okay, I will do that. The only problem is to share it with you, I have to share the whole screen. So that's fine. I could do it.
If you can
just close this stuff.
Post it in chat, or you know what I mean, in our chat, maybe. But if it preserves the structure. Oh no! Of course, no. They have their own. They can just run the code in the artifacts or whatever it's called. I forgot. Yeah.
Did I share it twice?
I see it once.
Oh. All right. If you see it once, that's it. For some reason, I see it twice. But it's fine.
Yeah, there it is. ChatGPT 5.
All right, we'll see how it goes. To answer in chat.
And then if you click run code at the top right, yeah, I guess click fix bug. Yeah, this is the one thing where often this is where it fails with 3JS. It's some of the cooler visual things to see, but it's also very high chances of failing.
All right, well, we'll see. Feels like I got a superpower, though, at least. GPT-5.
Oh, can we try the request by Sean Grove?
Sure, you can maybe put it in the comment section. I can cut and paste it in.
Yeah.
Is it a prompt?
Yes. Let me post it in our studio chat. Have you ever asked it for any like creative writing that's like super interesting, or like what you
poetry
wish
or something, or like a
well, anything where a super advanced model you'd like to see what it wrote?
I mean, like I said, I've done like psychology stuff from like, tell me about myself, or what do you think about this? Those have been the deepest conversations I've had. Like, you know, meaning of life, like I'm gonna go get a beer and then talk to it about why I exist, but not really. I should do some more creative stuff like that.
Yeah, people are saying it's live. It's unfortunately still not coming through for you. So not coming through for me.
Wait, you're not seeing the screen?
Oh no, I'm not seeing your screen anymore. But
not?
I was talking. Yeah, I was saying that I don't have GPT-5 yet. So, but yeah, we're not seeing your screen anymore, as far as I can tell.
Oh, really? Okay, let me check.
Right? Is it just me?
Yeah, I guess not. Okay, it's weird. I see it, but I don't think that means you are. Okay, you're back?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so it's still editing, still doing stuff. Yeah, I mean, you can always do a new tab and just do multiple stuff so it's running in the background.
Okay, and then you got another post for me?
Oh yeah, so we'll do the one that I texted, the one that I posted in chat for the creative writing.
Through Riverside, or did you post
Yeah,
it?
through Riverside.
Okay.
It's in studio chat.
Here, we'll be old hands at these eventually. Oh, just this
Yeah.
little short one?
Yeah.
Oh, I figured it was like some like 50, 100 line thing. Yeah, we can do this.
And then maybe just one more. I'll type it in.
Okay, that one's already done. So wait, can you see that, or are you still seeing the?
Oh, that's super fast.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
definitely
can see
different
that.
than building this all out. Okay, I'll fix bugs there again. Okay, so yeah, what do we have here? Here's the opening to your novel in the tense of Neil Stevenson. Okay.
All right.
Oh yeah, definitely a lot of M dashes in there. Do you want me to
Oh,
rate it,
yeah.
or title
I-
scroll leader, or do you want to analyze it?
Can you throw one more prompt in there? I just texted to you, so if you can just throw that one in there, and sweet. Okay, and then yeah, let me maybe read through the novella.
Oh, you can ask for a quick answer if you're impatient. That's cool.
Oh no, let Like that's
Oh,
the
I
one where it
won't.
needs
Yeah,
to.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
but
won't.
that's a new feature definitely. Let's see. So I mean, the writing seems good, but I would have to like, yeah, read everything.
Is that his style? The humans didn't know I was here. Not really. They knew they were bots. Sock puppets. Astroturfers. Sure. But they didn't picture me, a whispering intelligence in a chromium crawl space. I mean, I guess it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, but the comments
Assembled out
were
of
themselves.
GPT-3 fragments.
They were the battlefield. You hear that, chat? That's you. You're the battlefield.
Dude, that eulogy to the other models, like saying goodbye to them. I felt like they were all going to fight back. They're like, no, we're not dead.
It's not bad, right? It's a little bit too. There's a lot of like tech jargon and stuff like that, but I gotta say it's not bad. It's like interesting. You kind of want to keep, because the thing is, like, notice that the sentence length varies. I think that's very good for readability and stuff like that. So I see a lot of good things with it. I mean, it's all in the eye of the beholder, I guess. It's subjective, but not bad, right?
I think it's great. I mean, I can read this better than I can read most people who write blogs. I like it. I mean, it's got, like, you asked for a certain tone, and it seems like it captured that tone pretty well.
So yeah, Sean Grove asked for it. He's saying feels good to me on a first skim. That's kind of my impression too. Like, it's not bad. I'm liking it. Because sometimes, you know, you read something and you just kind of like blank out. You're like, this is not interesting. This thing kept me engaged. So
So this was the drone simulator.
Oh, cool. Okay, let's click.
Why does it want to? Should I do that? Try.
Oh, I
agent?
think it's trying to get you to do other stuff. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, like
sort of
try to-
distract. Click run code. I'm curious. Oh, okay.
Well, okay, that's pretty good. What were the?
That was like what, 30 seconds? Maybe it's under a minute, right?
Space bars lift up. Okay.
Hey, that's not bad. And then Q
I
and
mean-
E is
Yeah, this is great. This is, I mean, this is better than the. I mean, I guess a little more colorful than your last one. Kind of similar.
I added a line about making sure that everything's visible and there's lights and stuff. Because the last one, that was the only problem it had. It was just like you couldn't see anything. And then V, try to cycling views.
Oh, pretty awesome, man.
That's pretty good. I'm going to put this exact prompt that we used. I'm going to put it into, what's it called? Anthropic's 4.1.
No thrust. Go up. Ah. Yeah, this is pretty neat. That's crazy.
Okay, so just so everybody understands, that's one shot.
Yeah, it
It's
is.
3JS, which is that's the one that tends to fail the most because there's a lot of weirdness. It generated everything within.
Oh, look, collision. It doesn't have collision like your other one did, though. I
doesn't,
just went through a
okay.
building.
I'm sure you can add it.
Although,
yeah.
does that shadow seem pretty impressive? Like, it seems to know where the sun is, and it's
Oh
casting.
yeah, look at that. That is a pretty good shadow. Because from some angles, it seems. Yeah. Look at that. Can you look at the light source? Is there a sun?
Wait. No.
The controls are weird. I was kind of confused about the controls that it made, but
no. I mean, I can't see a sun at least, but
okay, yeah, it's in that direction, but there's nothing obvious. So yeah, so it's one shot. Everything's working. It completed the prompt perfectly. It did the WASD keys, space for lift. I told it V to cycle through views, first person overhead behind the drone.
spelled that wrong. Whatever.
It nailed everything. It nailed everything. Because keep in mind, this is on the first attempt.
Oh, okay. Here's your
is
first
this?
prompt too.
Oh,
This
so it
is
fixed
the
it.
GTA style.
Yeah, okay. Can you enter the vehicle?
Yeah, see controls. WASD. I'm not much of a gamer, so.
Little Spoogie saying needs building hit boundaries. Yeah, the first one did. This one didn't. But that might be, you know, a context length issue because I told it to focus on the lighting and it created the lighting.
What?
So maybe
this is not working for me at all. Like none of these keys are doing anything.
Oh, I see. I see.
I'm like slightly moving a little
Can you
bit.
hit E to enter it, or?
Because I'm supposed to get in the enter the car. I see.
It says you're going 17 kilometers per hour, but it doesn't. I don't
Like,
think that's right.
Okay, there we go. Maybe if I get onto the car, now can I E my way into? Oh, okay, now I'm driving. Now we're talking here.
Oh, nice.
All right, so.
Oh, you know, okay, so after this, I'm going to show people what Claude generated. Claude and tons of other ones. I don't know why. One thing that commonly happens is it reverses the keys, left and right or forward and back. So Claude, it inverts some of the keys. So Claude did that. But when you're trying yours, it's like you push W, it goes forward, right?
On this one, yeah, it seemed like it was correct. This one, I kind of feel like it wasn't. I mean, that's W. Like, I don't feel like I'm moving in the direction of my camera.
Oh, yeah. So there's some weirdness there.
Yeah, I think this one's. I mean, they work. Maybe from one perspective they do, but it doesn't seem like it's adjusting to my camera. I don't know. We can see what yours is. I'll stop that.
All right, let me share my screen here and. Where did. Entire screen. There we go. Okay. So here's Claude's rendition of it. So this is the 4.1.
Wow,
So
that's even got a little city with people driving on the roads.
Yeah. And notice it has the
maybe
shadow.
It did do better. Oh, the shadow looks better too. Wow. Wow. Claude wins.
Well, so the keys are reversed. The keys are reversed.
Go run into a building. Do you have collision detection?
There's no collision. Let me go through it. But the
shadows. First time you used GPT-5, it did. That was impressive. That was the one where you're still using the playground. Come on, don't hit the wall. No,
no, there's no collision detection. Yeah. I mean, I feel like it's slightly better at GPT-5 was slightly better, but you think this was a better
I don't know.
rendition
I mean,
of the prompt?
You know what? I mean, they're all workable. Like, to be honest, they're kind of comparable. That very first one felt pretty impressive. The very first one, the one on the playground, which was GPT-5, but then my version, not quite as good, but then it had a couple of things like the lighting that were better.
The
keys are working for V.
Yeah, the V is working great. I'm stuck in the loop, but that's because I think I clicked outside of it. Yeah, I mean, either way, it's very, very good. There's tons of good stuff
stuck in a loop.
Yeah, I think I clicked outside of the thing, so it's like whatever last key I was pressing, it keeps doing it.
Yeah, so. I mean, look, we have two. Like, the world has two coding models now. You know, the newest one from Claude and this one, and between the two of them, should be able to create some pretty interesting apps. And tool use seems like it's better. Let me just I'll before we end, I'll just review the kind of the main things that I thought. So when that first team showed up, I felt like Mark Zuckerberg was going to poach them all, so I felt scared. Then we did the Bernoulli effect. It created an entire app for teaching people. And it seemed like it explained it with visuals, which is something that we haven't really had before. So from an education point of view, I felt like 5 made a difference. Its eulogy to GPT-4 was fine. Nothing to write home about. The flashcards, you know, when it generated the flashcard with a voice, did that kind of surprise you? Do you remember that?
Yes.
Like he was learning French, and then he clicked on it, and it like said it in French, like it generated the correct. Yeah.
Yeah, and the video game where it was the snake video game where it would say stuff. I mean, that seemed so much more than a normal prompt would do. That seemed like it would have to be multiple prompts iterating. That, yeah, definitely. That was very surprising.
Yeah, to write it up, and then there might be a placeholder for like a WAV file or an MP3 file, but it was just creating that audio and then putting it in its place, which I thought was kind of a new, kind of a unique. That was the only sort of multimodal thing that I was sort of surprised by.
Out of curiosity, do you know how long it took for GPT-5 to do the thing you just did with the drone? Somebody was asking in chat.
Oh, the drone came much faster. The first one took forever. The GTA, sorry,
Right.
the GTA one took forever. The drone one was very quick.
That seemed very quick.
1 minute at most.
Okay, so somebody asked about Anthropic. So it says it thought for 4 seconds and then 6 seconds. So that seems very fast, though.
Yeah, that seems really. I don't think GPT-5 was that fast, but it was.
Yeah,
less than a minute. I clicked away from it and came back, and it was working.
Gotcha. Okay, so yeah, what else jumped out at you from the presentation?
Obviously, the big moment everyone will be talking about is the color change. You can now have not just gray behind your text.
The breakthrough, yeah.
That was a big breakthrough. Yeah, the custom voices are probably a big thing. I do think I'd like to have some more personality talking with my phone and having it have a human. Oops, that triggered it. But yeah, having like a human voice on it, I think is going to be good. Personalities will be good. Gmail and Google Calendar access coming next week. Maybe. I think that's useful. I'm not, maybe for my work thing first, not my personal thing yet, but I do think that we're moving that direction. Got to be concerned of privacy on that one a little bit. The safety team had a pretty interesting thing where it stopped judging your prompt in the same way. I thought that was kind of a maybe worth noticing, because right now, if you phrase something a little bit different, you can often get around these things. Now you're telling me a story about this bad thing, and now it seems like it's actually got some sort of a sense of what's good and what's bad.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think the way the safety team changed the way the way to trick the prompting is a step in the right direction. The looping between the pre-training and the post-training is probably going to help this thing iterate a lot faster. I mean, the health bench and the story that we heard from the woman with cancer, I thought,
yeah,
that's kind of already out there, but it's good to just get that in people's minds a bit more and make people realize that power is available to everyone. Yeah, with Greg Brockman not blinking, not sure what that was about. Pretty sure he's been held hostage by the true GPT-7 that they have internally.
A little bit nervous, yeah.
Actually, he was actually great to see. I thought he did a better job than Sam. Yeah, the API has, we've got the 5, the mini, and the nano models, depending on what you're using them for. The benchmarks, I mean, SWE is a benchmark we can use for Python, and that's a new record. And probably, I guess maybe the biggest thing, the coding and the tau squared benchmark. I didn't know much about that before, but the way for it to properly call other tools, that's a force multiplier that I don't think we'd really appreciated before. And for it to be 97% at knowing when the right time to pull out a calculator is, the right time to pull up an API in the future, when you've got it connected to your calendar and Gmail and the rest of maybe your car, the rest of your life, like that's going to be something that maybe that will set the groundwork for a lot more automation and a lot more power to come out of these tools. 400K context window, why not? More the merrier. Yeah, that's about it. I mean, we saw some cool coding things. We did some ourselves. Yeah, 2 million federal employees have access to it now. One financial company got early access. They're probably rich now.
Yeah, a couple of things just looking at chat. So number one, so Tom, thank you so much for the super chats. I'm reading your super chats. I can't clear my cookies because we're streaming through the same browser, so I'm not going to mess with that right now. So, but I really appreciate you helping out and troubleshooting and trying to figure out how to get me in there. So, what I think is happening is actually I need to get on the lists with OpenAI and all those places that to get early access. So I think, because it sounds like you said, who had early access?
Ethan Mollick did.
Yeah. So I feel like if I'm on the list, they'll probably, because he had the same thing for Genie 3, I think. So I just need to figure out what lists I need to be on, how to reach out to the companies and stuff like that. I am on a few, but not everybody. So that's number one. Number two, so people are saying the controls are reversed because it's like a propeller style. I've seen some models consistently reverse controls for driving games, for driving a car, for Tetris or Breakout. So it's something about it. It's a common mistake that is made. So maybe here was a mistake, maybe. So maybe that's correct. But I've seen with Claude, oftentimes it's inverted. I'm not sure why. And Cole asked something. Do you get XP? Yes, you get XP for chatting in chat and various other interactions. So you can level up and become, level 60 if you
Wait,
chat enough.
Can you explain that to me? I haven't live streamed until today. What's XP? You have a currency? Or they have a point system?
Yeah, this is a brand new thing there's a leaderboard. We have top, fans, and experience. It's a place for fans to stand out in the community. The top 3 get special badges in live chat. It resets every stream, so you can always try again. So basically, messages, super chats, super stickers, and interactions and all this stuff contributes to points. And then the people are ranked. So Farzad was in here. He's near the top. Rise OS, Jason.
I see, yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
your
all
number
you guys,
one is this Jason Hub guy with 1,300 XP.
Yeah, unfortunately, I missed his earlier because he commented during the OpenAI live stream, but that was really, really helpful. And yeah, Tom, I really appreciate you helping out. So yeah, I'm reading the chats. I just can't always act on them. So okay, well,
awesome.
Everybody, if you guys are still here, thank you so much. You guys are troopers. It has been absolutely incredible. Dylan, how did you feel about this whole thing? I know it's kind of a marathon and it's kind of like exhausting, but it's pretty fun, right?
No, I absolutely love this stuff, and I am really grateful you invited me on, and thank you so much for having me. And I'm excited to keep doing this podcast with you, and just I couldn't be luckier. So I'm very excited.
Oh
to
yeah,
just take this day by day.
Exactly. Yeah, and Dylan's been really good, and it's been really great working with him. We have an interview with Matt Wolf coming up, Julia McCoy, and many others that we're trying to get, and maybe the person behind AI Agent Village. So we're talking to him. So hopefully we'll get that in as well. Okay, thank you so much for being here. I'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you so much. Love you all, and see you in the next one. Peace.
See ya. Bye.